This is ChestertonRadio.com.
And here's the cinnamon bear.
I guess we're all pretty anxious to hear about Judy and Jimmy and their friends Cinnamon Bear and Crazy Quilt Dragon. For a while, it looked very much like the Wintergreen Witch was going to change them into a pincushion, a doormat, and 2 white mice. But they got away, and what was even nicer, got their precious silver star. The Crazy Quilt Dragon tucked it into his hind pocket for safekeeping, and they all climbed on his back and swam away from the island of Obi. But when they reached the mainland, the worst thing in the world happened. Crazy Quilt sat down to rest and broke the silver star into a dozen pieces. That's very, very bad, and you can just imagine what Judy has to say.
Oh, dear. We might just as well never have found the silver star as to have it broken.
Gee willikers, yes. Especially after all the things we did to get it back.
If you had to sit down, Crazy Quilt, why pick a rock to sit on?
Oh, I am abject. I'm speechless, but I beg you to realize that my mistake was unintentional.
Well, we know you didn't mean to do it. But, gee, Crazy Quilt, couldn't you have used your head a little bit?
Don't go picking on poor Crazy Quilt. Of course he didn't mean to break the star, but making him feel bad isn't going to do any good. Oh, dear. We might just as well have Patty O'Cinnamon take us back to the attic again.
Yeah, I guess so.
Goodbye, Crazy Quilt. Thanks anyway for saving us from the Incaboos and carrying us across the root beer ocean.
Yes, thanks for that, Crazy Quilt. You're a good dragon at heart.
How are we going to get back to the attic, Cinnamon Bear? The airplane is still at the bottom of Looking Glass Valley.
Maybe when Crazy Quilt has rested a little, he'll carry us a piece.
Oh, gladly. Anything to help atone for my frightful carelessness. Anything to... Wait!
What is it, Crazy Quilt? Have you got a pain?
A pain? No, I've a plan.
That's generally the same thing with you.
There's something that might be done yet.
Sure, and you've done everything that can be done, Crazy Quilt. You and your nonsense.
Just a minute, my feisty friend in the fur pajamas. Let me say my say.
Very well. What's on your alleged mind?
Why don't we go and see Melissa?
Splendid! Now, why didn't I think of that?
Who's Melissa?
Haven't you heard of her? Why, she's our queen, the ruler of Maybeland.
What could she do?
What can't she do, you mean? She's wonderful, so kind and generous. Everybody loves her.
That's swell. But what could she do about the silver star?
Anything, everything. She has wonderful powers. Nothing is impossible to her. Why, do you know once upon a time, I had the great misfortune to fall into a lemonade wishing well, and all my beautiful colors ran together.
I sure like to have seen you then.
I shall overlook your remark. Oh, I was a mess. I thought surely I'd never be able to hold up my head in society. But I went to Melissa, and she restored me to my natural beauty and splendor.
She certainly has a marvelous reputation, all right. I've always intended to go to court sometime and see her for myself, but I never quite got around to it.
Oh, goody. Maybe she can help us. Where does Melissa live?
Oh, she lives in her palace in the capital of Maybeland. That's capital M. A bit southish of the Lollipop Mountains, right in the middle of Marshmallow Meadows.
Maybe she'll know some way to have the star all put together again.
I'm sure she will. Will you take us there, Crazy Quilt?
Certainly. I'm quite as good on land as on water.
Everybody help me pick up the pieces of the star. Jimmy, let me have your hanky. It's bigger than mine.
Okay. Here it is.
Ah, here are some pieces.
Yeah, and here are some more.
I think Jimmy and I have all the rest. Hold out your hanky, Jimmy.
Okay.
There.
All right, now, let's get started. Climb on, everybody.
Up you go, Judy. Up, Jimmy. Well, run on. Outdo yourself, Crazy Quilt. Gallop of you's never galloped before.
This is the anteroom to the Queen's audience chamber. We'll have to wait here until time for us to see the Grand Wunke.
My goodness. How many more do we have to see before we get to see Melissa?
Yes, I never saw so many, whatchamacallums?
Secretaries.
Yes, things like that.
Oh, but you must remember, this is a royal court. You have to expect such things. After all, Melissa is the queen, and she's much too busy to bother with people unless they have really important business with her.
Who'd you say we had to see now?
The Grand Monkey. He's sort of head of all the ceremonies and presents everybody to Melissa.
I wish he'd hurry. My stuffing's getting very tired.
Oh, I don't mind waiting so much. It's so beautiful. I like to look down that big staircase and see all the people passing up and down.
Oh, here you are. So sorry to keep you waiting, but you know how it is, so much busy. Dear, 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 dear. Oh, you're not in court costume.
What's that?
It's what you wear when you come to see Melissa.
Well, never mind. It can't be helped now. I'll ask her to overlook the attire, inasmuch as you are unacquainted with court etiquette.
What does he mean?
He means that he's going to ask Melissa to skip it.
Oh, dear, 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 dear. Now let's see how will we arrange this. You're that crazy quill dragon, are you not? I'm sure I've seen you before. I'm very good at remembering places. I mean faces. That's my job. Now, where were we? Awfully nice of you to drop in and all that. Must come again sometime.
I'm Judy.
I'm Jimmy.
And I'm the cinnamon bear.
That's us, and we're very anxious to see Melissa. Is there anything special we have to do?
Oh, dear, 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 yes. The bow, you know, the bow. So...
I feel awfully silly doing that.
You don't have to. Just be polite, and that's all that's necessary.
And of course, I must announce you. Now let's see. What formation would look best? Let me see. The little girl first. Yes. Then I think the boy slightly behind her with the bear. Then the crazy quill dragon bringing up the rear guard.
Bringing up what? Does he have to carry something?
No. He's to stand behind you.
Well, why didn't you say that in the first place?
I just like hurrying you, Grand Monkey, but our time is short and our business very important. Now, you just sort of forget a few formalities and announce us to Her Majesty like a good monkey.
I think everything is in order. Do you mind if I adjust your green bow, little bear?
I'd thank you to keep your hands off me bow, and my name is Padua Cinnamon, if you please.
Oh, yes, of course. Now, I think we may enter now.
It's about time.
Ouvrez la porte!
What's that mean, that, ouvre, well, what you just said?
Well, that's French for open the door.
Well, why didn't you just say open the door instead of that French stuff?
Because this happens to be a French door and won't open unless you speak French. So there. Ouvrez la porte! My, those hinges need oiling dreadfully. Must make a note about that. See about oil for hinges. Now, are we all hunky-bunky?
Yes, Monkey.
Dudley, the fanfare. Oh, thank you, Dudley. That was lovely. Thank you. Now, friends, you may enter the presence of Queen Melissa of Maybeland.
Ooh. Oh, my goodness. Isn't she beautiful, Jimmy?
You bet. Why, she's nearly as pretty as Mother, I'd say.
Look at her throne. It's all shiny.
All gold, children. 18 carats, solid gold.
It looks like there's something shiny all about her, too. It must be more magic.
It is. That protects her from anything touching her. Nothing could get close enough to hurt her.
I sure never saw anything like this before.
Will you please come closer?
Her Majesty desires you to approach. Be sure you don't go too close. Your Majesty, may I present Miss Judy?
How do you do?
Fine, thanks, but we...
Mr. Jimmy.
I'm so happy to see you.
And we're glad to see you.
And this is...
The crazy quilt dragon, of course. How are you?
Oh, very well, Your Majesty. Thank you.
And last but not least...
Well, who is this fuzzy little person with the green ribbon round his neck? Who are you, little friend?
I'm the cinnamon bear with the shoe button eyes, and I'm helping these children recover a prize. It's a silvery star that was fashioned, you see, for the very tip-top of a big Christmas tree. Though we've hunted low and we've hunted high, we cannot get it back, no matter how we try. A most crazy quilt dragon made off with it first, then a whale ate it up, but that isn't the worst. Oh, it's been through 100 adventures since then. We just lose it and find it and lose it again. So we've looked and looked till we're almost blue. And if you'll help us out, we're much obliged to you.
So you see, Your Majesty?
Call me Melissa, won't you? We're all going to be friends, and friends shouldn't be too formal.
That suits me. All this wonky business about bowing and everything.
I know how you feel, Jimmy, but I must give the Grand Wonky something to do. He'd feel very unhappy otherwise.
Well, you see, Melissa, the Cinnamon Bear told you part about what happened to our lovely Silver Star, but lots of things happened to it after that.
And the last thing was, the Wintergreen Witch cast a spell on me and forced me to steal the star and take it to her.
The Wintergreen Witch? Grand Wonky, make a note that I must take up the case of the Wintergreen Witch at my next council meeting. She's been practicing magic without a license.
No, dear me, yes, Your Majesty. Fix witch. Good and proper.
She was going to change us into things. Then I showed her a looking glass, and she got awful scared and let us go.
And Crazy Quill took us across the root beer ocean,
But he sat down on the star and broke it into a dozen pieces.
So we thought maybe you could help us get it fixed.
Of course I can help you.
You can? Oh, that's wonderful.
Now you just listen very carefully to everything I say, and your Silver Star will be restored.
Well, that's quite the best news Judy and Jimmy have had since they started out on their adventurous trip through Maybeland. Let's be sure to listen next time and find out how Queen Melissa plans to get the broken Silver Star back into one piece.
Podcasts of works by G.K. Chesterton, plus drama, comedy, mystery, science fiction, big bands, and much more. The soundtrack to your Chesterton day at chestertonradio.com.
Gentlemen, the Colgate-Palmolive Peat Company, makers of Colgate Dental Cream, take this opportunity to wish you a Merry Christmas. And now, Colgate Dental Cream presents the Dennis Day Show, written by Frank Galen, with Sharon Douglas, Dink Trout, Paula Winslow, Charles Dant in the orchestra, yours truly, Vern Smith, and starring our popular young singer in A Day in the Life of Dennis Day. Here's Dennis to sing A Gal in Calico. Met a gal in Calico way down in Santa Fe. I used to be her Sunday beau till I rode away. Do I want her? Do I want her love? Yes, sirree. Will I win her? Wait and see, working with the rodeo, go from town to town, see most every kind of gal, every kind of gown. But who made my heart sing, yippee-I, yippee-oh, my little gal in calico. I'm gonna quit
Rio, gonna settle down, buy a boat, a calico, for a wedding gown. Then will I enter in? Yippee-I, yippee-oh, my little gal in calico.
Most of you know our young hero, Dennis, very well by this time, but those of you who'll be making his acquaintance for the first time on these Wednesday nights would probably like to know just what sort of person he is. Well, let's ask the folks who know him best. First, there's his landlady, Mrs. Anderson, who runs the boarding house in Weaverville where Dennis rooms. Mrs. Anderson, what's your honest opinion of Dennis Day?
My opinion of Dennis Day is that he's a 22-year-old boy.
Well, yes, of course, but what sort of 22-year-old boy?
Well, I'm sorry, but that's as far as I care to go on.
Well, it's a fact that Dennis has never managed to get into Mrs. Anderson's good graces. Now, Mr. Anderson, on the other hand, kind of likes him, although he's never come right out and admitted it. And just why haven't you, Mr. Anderson?
Well, it all goes back to when I first married my dear wife. Or, as I like to call her, the big woman.
Go on, Mr. Anderson.
You see, when we were married, we made a pact, Poopsie and I. We decided we'd always think and act as one person. Of course, I didn't know then that the one person would turn out to be Poopsie.
Oh, I see. Well, there's one member of the Anderson family who likes Dennis and makes no bones about it. That's their daughter, Mildred, our young hero's girlfriend. Right now, on this fine Christmas morning, she's carefully planted herself under the mistletoe in the Anderson living room as Dennis comes down for breakfast.
Morning, Mildred. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Dennis.
Boy, I sure am hungry this morning. See you after breakfast, huh?
Why, Dennis, wait.
What's the matter?
Well, don't you notice? I'm standing someplace.
Well, that happens very often when you're not sitting down.
I don't mean that silly. Now, look around carefully. Don't you see anything different?
You're wearing a new dress?
No, higher.
You washed your face?
Dennis, what's over my head?
Here.
I mean on the chandelier. Don't you see what's tied to it? A piece of mistletoe.
Oh, I see now. Pretty, isn't it?
Dennis, I'm standing right under it.
Well, don't worry. A little thing like that couldn't hurt you if it did fall off.
Didn't you ever hear of mistletoe, Dennis? If a man happens to find a girl standing under it, he can kiss her.
Gosh, really?
Yes. And you happen to find me standing under it. Well.
Oh, I couldn't take advantage of an accident.
But it wasn't an accident, Dennis. I stood here on purpose.
Mildred.
I did it so you'd kiss me. I want you to kiss me.
You women are all alike. No one wants my brains, only my kisses.
Dennis, I want you.
I know how desirable I am, but you should fight it.
I'm tired of arguing about it. Come here, Dennis Day.
Please, Mildred, you're mussing my hair.
I don't care. Now stand still.
Well, so that's the sort of thing that goes on in my house.
Mother.
Hello, Mrs. Anderson. What's new?
Don't put on any act with me. I saw you kissing my daughter. Give me one reason why I should walk in and find such a thing going on.
We didn't expect you.
Well, it was all my fault, Mother. Really, it was. You see, it's Christmas, and there was mistletoe, and I was standing under it, and... Well, anyway, it was only a little peck on the cheek.
That's true, Mrs. Anderson, and I promise it won't happen again until we've been married for years.
Married, indeed. Young man, you've been nothing but trouble to me since you began boarding here. I suggest that you look for another place to live as soon as you can.
But, Mrs. Anderson...
That's my last word on the subject.
Gee, now I'm in a fine mess.
Golly, I'm sorry, Dennis. You wouldn't have gotten in trouble if only I hadn't insisted on kissing you.
Oh, that's all right. As a matter of fact, I kind of like being kissed.
Oh, did you, Dennis?
Yeah. I see now why so many people speak so well of it.
Mother doesn't really make you move.
No, it wouldn't be much of a Christmas if she did.
Oh, dear, I nearly forgot with so many things going on.
What?
There's a little present for you inside, underneath the tree. For me.
Gosh, thanks, Mildred. I hope you won't be too disappointed, but I didn't have enough money to buy you an expensive present this year.
Oh, well, that's all right, Dennis. I'll be every bit as happy with a present that costs practically nothing.
I didn't have enough to buy you one of those either.
Oh, well, don't feel badly. I understand.
Next year I'll be able to give you something real nice to make up for it after my invention is put on the market.
Your invention?
Yeah, I haven't told you because I wanted it to be a surprise. You see, one day last week, Mrs. Courtney came into the drugstore to get something for a terrible headache. So I made up a wet pack out of some stuff I found, and she put it on her head.
And it cured her headache?
No, it made her headache worse, but it curled her hair.
Oh, my goodness.
I haven't told a soul yet, but I think I've invented a permanent wave solution. It should be worth millions.
Oh, I should say so. Have you tried it on anyone besides Mrs. Courtney?
No, but Mr. Willoughby's police dog sat in some the other day.
Oh, and what happened?
Well, the part that barks is still police dog, but the part that wags is pure French poodle.
That's marvelous.
I'm improving it all the time. Why, just yesterday I put some powder from France I found in the place.
Oh, golly, I've just had the most wonderful idea.
What?
My mother's got to know about this. Why, when she sees what you've got hold of, she'll never let you move out.
Oh, she won't believe it's any good if I invented it.
Oh, but that's just it. She's got to try some herself.
But how are we going to get her to do that?
Oh, look, she's in the next room. You go in and hint in a subtle way that she doesn't look quite as attractive for Christmas as she might. Her hair looks a little stringy. And then you show her your invention and ask her to try some on her head.
Golly, I'll do it. I've got a jar of it right here in my pocket.
Good. Oh, but you've got to be very diplomatic about telling her she could look more attractive.
Here goes. Mrs. Anderson?
Yes?
You know, I was just thinking, you're pretty ugly today. Oh, I don't mean all over, just above your neck.
How dare you talk to me like that?
Mrs. Anderson, wait, you don't understand. What I meant is you're beautiful, only your hair spoils it.
My hair?
Yeah, it's so straight. Why, if you had curly hair, you could look just like Lana Turner all over instead of just locally.
Oh, that's very sweet of you, Dennis. Oh, but my hair's always been straight. Even a permanent doesn't curl it.
Well, I have some stuff right here that will, Mrs. Anderson. If you'll just put some on your head in 2 or 3 minutes, you'll be amazed.
Well, if it's as good as all that, I certainly will try it.
That's swell. Come out and show Mildred. Well, Oh, good morning, Mr. Anderson.
Good morning, Dennis. My lover girl in there?
Yes, but don't go in, Mr. Anderson. You're going to get a surprise in a minute.
I am?
Yeah. How would you like it if your wife suddenly became Lana Turner?
Outside of Lana Turner suddenly becoming my wife, I can't think of anything nicer.
Well, you just wait.
You really think it'll work, Dennis?
Oh, sure. And with that French powder I put in yesterday to make it smell nice, she'll just love it.
Well, what kind of French powder was it?
Oh, I don't know. Only the name of the maker was on the box. Some fellow named Plaster of Paris.
Plaster of Paris? Oh, Dennis, no.
I did something?
Did something? Oh, we're finished forever.
Mildred, what do you mean?
Yes, what are you two talking about?
Well, how do I look? My head feels awfully peculiar.
Oh, really, Mother?
Yes. How do you like it, Herbert?
Oh, very nice, Poopsie. That's the first sensible hat I've ever seen you wear.
Hat? I'm not wearing a hat.
You mean that's you?
Well, certainly. This is my new hairdo.
Don't you think you overdoed it?
What do you mean? Get out of the way so I can see myself in the mirror. Why, I don't... Ah! Dennis! My hair! It's ruined! Listen to it.
Well, there's nothing to worry about, Mrs. Anderson. I'll have your head in fine shape as soon as I get hold of a hammer.
Oh, a hammer?
Yeah, that's the only way I can get that shiny white crust off your head.
Fine thing. It was supposed to be Lana Turner and me. Now it's the egg and I.
Oh, here, use this, Dennis. The fire tongs.
Okay. Hold still, Mrs. Anderson.
Oh.
There, see?
Dennis, say, I told you once today to leave this house as soon as you can. Well, I can't wait. You're leaving this instant.
Mrs. Anderson, I was only trying to help.
Get out of my sight. That's final. Come, Herbert.
Gee, didn't turn out to be a very Merry Christmas, did it, Mildred?
No, I'm afraid not. Oh, but don't worry, Dennis. We'll find some way to see each other.
Gee, I hope so.
Oh, well, Dennis, listen.
Yeah, a bunch of kids singing carols. It'd be kind of nice to have them in, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would. Open the door, Dennis. Let's have them in.
Okay. Hey, fellas, come on in. Mrs. Anderson may have something for you.
Okay, come on, guys.
You better shake the snow off your shoes. Mrs. Anderson is very particular about her rugs.
Come on in, boys. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Hey, what about that little fellow out there in the snow? Isn't he coming in?
Nah, he don't sing with us. He just follows us around. Yeah, everywhere we go, he tags along and we can't get rid of him.
He's a pest.
Hey, fella, why don't you come up here on the porch? You'll catch cold out there. Come on up. Don't be afraid. What's your name?
Cecil?
Oh, your name is Cecil, huh?
Yes, sir. Cecil.
Well, come on up, Cecil.
Yes, sir.
See, you are catching cold.
I'm not cold.
You're not crying, are you?
Yes, sir.
You are? But this is Christmas. You shouldn't be crying on Christmas.
Yes, sir.
What are you crying about, Cecil?
They won't let me sing with them.
They won't let you sing with them? Why not?
I got braces on my teeth. They say I don't sing good.
Well, I don't believe it. I'll just bet that you're a real good singer.
No, I'm not. I don't really sing good.
You don't?
No, sir, I don't sing good, but I like to sing anyway. I like to sing more than anything in the whole world.
Sure you do. And that's what makes singing really important. To want to sing from the bottom of your heart, whether you can really sing or not.
It is?
It certainly is. You know, once upon a time there was a little boy just like you. Well, this little boy wanted to sing more than anything else in the whole world.
Honest?
Uh-huh. And one night he had a vision. And the vision told him never to stop singing, because someday he would sing for the king.
What's a vision?
A vision? Oh, a vision is something like a dream, I think. Well, this little boy...
What was his name?
His name? Oh, I don't know what his name was. You see, it was a very long time ago.
How long ago?
Oh, a long, long time ago.
Did he sing over the radio?
No, this was long before radios and phonographs and moving pictures.
Before Jack Benny?
Yes, even before that. It was a long, long time ago in a land far, far away. The little boy came from a very poor family. Though his father and mother worked hard, they could barely buy enough bread to eat. The boy had no shoes to wear, and his clothes were ragged and torn. But he didn't care, for he was happy. He had a song in his heart.
Life is fair on a summer's day. Sweet the western wind is blowing. La, 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 la.
One day his father called the boy to his side and said, "Why is it, my son, that you always sing? We are poor and have little for you to sing and be happy about." And the boy answered, "I am happy, Father, for someday I know I shall sing for the king." And his father said, "That foolish vision of yours. You must forget such nonsense, for a poor ragged boy like you will never sing for the king." And the boy said, "Told me so. It was so clear to me, Father. A voice spoke to me and said that I had been chosen to sing for the king." His father was sorely troubled. He shook his head sadly and sighed. "My son, you must put such idle dreams out of your head, for tomorrow you shall start to work for the rich landowner who lives on the hill." "Gladly, Father, and I shall sing as I work, for someday my song will be heard by the king." The boy's father returned to his work, knowing that his words could not shake his son's faith in his vision, his tattered clothes flapping in the breeze, and his shoeless feet kicking up the dust. The dust rose and danced with the sunbeams, leaving a happy trail behind the boy as he sang.
Life is fair on a summer's day. Sweet the western wind is blowing. La, 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 la.
And so the boy went to work for the rich landowner. He tended to the flocks of sheep and to the goats. At dusk, when the boy would drive the flocks home from the meadows, the hooves of the animals would make a gentle sound on the road. And with this as music, the boy would sing. Life is fair on a summer's day. Sweet the western wind is blowing. La, 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 la. One day, not long after, the landowner called the boy to him and said,
Hearken to me, boy. I pay you to care for my flocks, not to fill the air with your incessant song.
I'm sorry, master. I meant to bother no one with my singing. The sheep and the goats don't mind.
I am neither a sheep or a goat, so I mind.
You see, master, I must sing, for someday my song will be heard by the king.
Ah, you're mad, boy. Yea, mad and also stupid. Sing for the king. Be gone with you. Be gone with you.
But, master, I shall sing for the king. You will see. And so it came to pass that the boy, laughed at and ridiculed by all who knew him, left and went to the great city to sing for the king. Never had the boy seen such a city. Great buildings lined the streets, and the greatest of all was the palace of the king. There were many steps that led up to the palace gates, and the gates themselves were as tall as a tree. He felt very small and afraid as he ascended the steps. He would have run away, but he kept thinking of his vision. With this to give him strength, he was no longer afraid. He climbed, and finally, tired and out of breath, he reached the uppermost step. Smoothing down his ragged garments, he approached the gates. And hesitantly, he knocked upon them. He waited breathlessly as the gates slowly opened.
Who knocks at the palace of the king?
The boy looked up at the tall guard and said, I did.
Ragged beggar, what is it you want?
I am not a beggar.
Speak up! What is it you want?
I have come because of a vision. I have come to sing for the king.
You? Sing for the king? You, a ragged beggar boy, have come to sing for the king!
The guard laughed and laughed. Other guards came, and they, too, joined in the laughter. They laughed even more when the boy told them of his vision. Then, tiring of their laughter, they picked the boy up and cast him down the many steps to the street below. And slammed the gates shut. The boy picked himself up out of the dirt at the bottom of the steps, and sadly, with his head bent, he walked away from the palace. That night, weary from his journey and unable to travel further, the boy stopped to rest by the side of a hill. Sheep were grazing nearby, and as he fell asleep, the boy knew that he would never sing again. He was awakened that night by a strange light, a light that transformed everything about him, a light from a great star that shone above. There wasn't a sound. All was hushed. A hush, a quiet, a silence beyond words to describe. Even the sheep on the hillside and the doves in the trees seemed to sense the silence. And then the light seemed to become even brighter, bathing all in a glow that made them one. The boy, the hill, the earth, the grass, the animals all became one, and one alone. The boy raised himself from the ground, not daring to breathe. Then he felt a song swelling in his throat. He could contain himself no longer. Something was compelling him to sing. He stood up straight and small on the hill. What if they had laughed at him? What if his song was unwanted? He felt he must sing now, here now in this divine night. So he stood, his tattered clothes shimmering in the light of the star above, or like the raiment of angels. And he sang. Ave Maria, gratia plena, Maria, gratia plena. And when he finished his song, the boy saw a man coming up the hill toward him. The man was a shepherd, and he carried a crooked staff. The boy said, "I thought I was alone here on the hill." And the shepherd said, "You will never be alone again, boy. No man will ever be alone again." And then the shepherd turned and pointed down the hill. And the boy looked and saw a small stable nestled below. And the shepherd, turning to the boy, said, "Tonight, my son, you sang for a king. Verily, the King of Kings." And so you see, Cecil, if your heart is full of song, you must sing. Oh, I didn't know you folks were listening.
It was a lovely story, Dennis.
It was beautiful, Dennis.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was a very nice story.
And I'm sorry I got so angry with you. I hope you forgive me, Dennis.
Oh, sure. That's all right, Mrs. Anderson.
Cecil, would you like to sing with us?
Can I? Oh, gosh, I'd love to sing with you. I'd love to sing with you. Will you let me, honest? Will you let me sing with you?
Sure. How about we all sing together?
Colgate-Palmolive Peat Company, makers of Colgate Dental Cream, hope you've enjoyed a very pleasant Christmas and sends to every one of you best wishes for the new year. Dennis Day can be heard with Jack Benny every Sunday. And be sure and be with us again next week for another Dennis Day program. More songs, more adventures in the life of our star, Dennis Day. Christmas story, The Boy Who Sang for the King, was written by Frank Tashlin. Bobby Driscoll, who played the part of Cecil, appeared through the courtesy of Walt Disney and can be seen in the Technicolor picture Song of the South. All the other parts in the Christmas story were played by Dennis, of course. The special musical background was by Charles Dant. This is Vern Smith speaking. NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
This is Chesterton Radio, the true, good, and beautiful at ChestertonRadio.com.
Don't turn that dial. This is the right station if you want to hear the story of Jonathan Thomas and his Christmas on the Moon. Now, of course, you remember about Jonathan Thomas, of how he went to the moon and made a promise. But in case you don't know what it's quite all about, so you won't have even the tiniest doubt, Jonathan Thomas and the man in the moon are searching for old Santa, and they must find him soon, for the wicked squibobliums who broke all the laws kidnapped poor old Santa Claus. And there can't be a Christmas at all this year without him, and you know the time draws near. Well, now, of course, you remember the wicked old witch who lives in the land of Rumpelstitch, why, you'd think she was double. She's caused so much trouble to put to the test their very good friend, the good fairy queen, who's helped them no end. And the three little dwarfs who taught them to say the magical word of on, squeen, on, squeak, giggly vey, which helped them a lot, as far as they've got. Remember, the queen gave them a charm to take, a magical acorn to keep them awake as they went through the nightmare forest so deep. And she said, remember, you can't go to sleep. And then they passed a dragon whose fiery breath nearly sent all of them right to their death. And then, when they reached the forest so dark, a little white squirrel, kind of just for a lark, named Whiskery Bill, why, he drove them quite mad, for he teased them, and that's always bad, till Jonathan Thomas fell off the horse. And he fell even further than that, of course, for without the magical acorn to keep, why, naturally, he fell very sound asleep. And nothing except a bright red rose could wake him up. And my goodness knows there wasn't a red rose anywhere to be had. And so Whiskery Bill, he felt pretty bad, till the rose bush told that on the long rainbow he'd find some red rubies. And with them, she could grow a red rose. And so he hurried and was very much worried until he met a walrus who said he'd go along and show him the way so he wouldn't go wrong. Well, they got the rubies with a great deal of trouble. As a matter of fact, their troubles were double. And the rose bush, so kind, said that she didn't mind if she worked after hours to grow beautiful flowers, and she grew them a rose and kept her promise. And now we can wake up little Jonathan Thomas. That is, I hope, because on the way back, the ice on the river they were crossing went crack. And you'll have to admit it's a horrible sin, but Whiskery Bill and the walrus fell in. And, but then, here's where the story begins again.
Help! I've fallen in! Oh, my goodness gracious, I can't swim!
Keep afloat somehow or other, and I'll rescue you before you smother. Strike me pink, this water is wet, but never you mind, I'll save you yet. Here now, you ain't dead, but you will be if you don't climb up on my head.
Well, hold me up until I get set. Oh, my gracious, I'm soaking wet.
Now then, up you go and have a care on top of me head. It's drier up there.
Oh, I'm glad you're here, but you're as good as a boat, and Jiminy Crickets, I can't even float.
Well, of course now, swimming is what all walruses are for. Come on now, we'll strike out for the shore, and we'll get there fast without an itch. This was the doings of that wicked old witch. But never you mind, it won't take long. And we could pass the time if we sang a song.
Well, that suits me swell, if I can manage to sing and hold on as well.
Oh, swimming over the river wide. We're as wet can be, but as dry inside. So, swimming, this is the way it goes. Oyster mainsail, man the pumps, yahoo, and there she blows. Oh, swimming, over the river wide.
Oh, magic mirror on the wall, speak and say what doth befall Whiskery Bill and his walrus friend.
I see them both at the river's bend, O mighty witch of Rumpelstitch.
That's very good, for I knew you would. And now I'll laugh and cackle, for my magic spell has worked well, and they're both as dead as a mackerel.
Not so, O witch, for there's been a hitch in the spell that you worked so well. It will make you frown, but they did not drown. And something else you may know as well. They're steadily sailing, without even bailing, northeast by east, steady as they go.
Oh, curses on them. I've been tricked, but nevertheless I'm not yet licked. I'll sit me down and plot and scheme to think up things which they'll never dream.
Is that a threat or just a promise?
Stop sassing me and wait and see what happens to Jonathan Thomas. What happens to Jonathan Thomas?
Hi-de-day and whipperty-snack. Look at me, for I've come back.
Yuck, yuck. For gracious sakes to goodness, look who's arrived.
Yep, and how awfully hard I've strived. But now we're in clover, 'cause that's all over. And now I can keep my promise. Here, take this rose and hold it to the nose of poor little Jonathan Thomas.
Oh, hey, nunny, nunny, hey, hey, hey. If this isn't really a happy day.
Hurry up with the rose. For goodness knows you haven't got all day to take. I've hurried and I've worried and hustled and bustled just so you could make him awake. So hurry up and don't dawdle and never mind all this fiddle faddle.
That's what I say. There's time for play and there's time for work. And when it's that time, you shouldn't shirk. Oh, for goodness sake, don't push me so. I'm hurrying so fast as I can go.
Put the rose under his nose so he can smell it well.
That's what I'm doing. But as far as I can tell, there's not even a sign of his breath. My gracious to goodness and Jimmy Crickets, he's as quiet and still as death.
Oh, but he can't be dead, 'cause the Fairy Queen said, and I heard her as plain as day, put the red rose right under his nose, and then he'll wake up. Hey!
He's moving his arm.
It's breaking the charm.
He's beginning to mutter.
Oh, I'm so nervous I could stutter. I'm so upset I could fly.
Jiminy Crickets and gracious to goodness, look, he's opening one eye.
I think I'm going to cry.
By Jove, I say.
For goodness sake, he's wide awake. Hello. Hello.
Jonathan Thomas, you're wide awake.
Of course I am. Of course he is.
Strike me pink, what a biz.
Gee whiz. Oh, my gracious. I guess I must have been asleep.
For more than a week.
Really and truly?
Of course.
You fell off the horse. And how we did quake, 'cause you wouldn't awake. Oh, now I remember. We were in a nightmare for it. And when I fell off the horse, I didn't have the magic acorn to keep me from falling asleep.
But now you're awake, for goodness sake. And you won't go to sleep again. The witch of Rumpelstiltskin.
That's quite true. And how do you do?
None of your business. How do we do? We won't tell you.
You're not very polite, but that's quite all right.
Why don't you go away?
Yes, why don't you go away?
I will, when I've said what I've got to say.
You're badder than bad. You old coffee nerves, Ad. And you'd better get out of here. We'll make it so hot you'll wish you had got you and your horrible sneer.
You keep quiet, you walrusy one, or you'll wish you had before I'm done.
Yeah.
Now listen to me, you foolish three. If you go ahead, you'll all be dead. And things will be black if you don't turn back.
They're not going to.
Who's talking to you?
Well,
and what's more, I can tell that you'll scream and yell when you meet with the things I've planned. But if it's wisdom you lack and you don't turn back, you'll never reach the sweet Bobblium land.
You shut up, you old pickle face, and go on back to your own place. For it's truer than true. You're nothing but a nothing. You just get the stuffing knocked right out of you.
I'm not afraid of your threat, and I'll get you yet. You'll see how I keep my promise. I'll get you, and you, and yes, even you. And you too, little Jonathan Thomas. Yes, and you too, little Jonathan Thomas.
Oh, my goodness. Why doesn't that old witch mind her own business and leave poor little Jonathan Thomas alone? What in the world do you think she'll do? I wish I knew, don't you? But we'll find out, I guess, in the next story of Jonathan Thomas and his Christmas on the Moon. So don't forget to listen, will you? My goodness, I won't.
Listening to Chesterton Radio at chestertonradio.com.
Campana's First Nighter program. From the Little Theater off Times Square. Starring Barbara Lottie and Olin Soule with an all-star cast. And sent you by Campana, the quality name in cosmetics. Theater time. And tonight, just ahead of Christmas, the Little Theater off Times Square is delighted to comply with the requests of thousands of its friends from coast to coast by offering for the 9th time the now famous Christmas play, Little Town of Bethlehem, the Bible story of the carpenter and his wife and their baby born in a manger. Among radio listeners, including members of the clergy, the annual presentation of the Little Town of Bethlehem has become an occasion of deep spiritual significance, a time when whole families, young and old, gather at the radio sets to enjoy the inspiration which attends the retelling of those memorable happenings in Bethlehem on a night long ago. The hour of the performance is drawing near, so let me introduce our host for the evening, Mr. First Nighter.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm delighted that you can be with us tonight for the most celebrated performance of the year in the Little Theater. My cab is waiting. Won't you join me? All right, driver.
Right there. Read all about it, Jim.
Up Broadway and across 42nd Street. Yes, the Great White Way looks like one big, dazzling Christmas tree tonight. And now just ahead is the Little Theater off Times Square. Well, here we are.
Have your tickets ready, please. Have your tickets ready, please. Good evening, Mr. First Nighter. The usher will show you to your seat.
Thank you. We'll go right in. Sponsor of the First Nighter program, Campana Sales Company, together with all of their employees, wish to contribute to your enjoyment of the first Peace Christmas since 1940 by the presentation of the sacred story of the birth of Christ in a manger in Bethlehem. We enter eagerly into the opportunity of offering you this evening the Christmas play, Little Town of Bethlehem, by Anthony Wayne. In tonight's performance, Barbara Luddy will play the part of Mary. Part of Joseph will be played by Olin Soule. An all-star supporting cast, including Sidney Elstrom, Hugh Studebaker, Herbert Butterfield, Willard Waterman, and Philip Lord, will portray the other characters. Since tonight's performance will be interrupted only by music between the acts, here is Mr. Billsbury with a special Yuletide greeting.
Thank you and good evening. It is appropriate, I think, and it is heartfelt, too, this greeting I want to convey to you. It comes from Campana Sales Company, the sponsor, and all of their employees. They join together this evening in wishing you a very Merry Christmas, and they want to express with warm gratitude their appreciation of your loyalty to them during the past year. You and your friends all over the United States and Canada have chosen and used Campana products in ever-increasing quantities. And we cannot let this year-end pass by without saying thank you. During the past year, there became available again some of the ingredients which, for a long time, had been dedicated wholly to the war effort. As a result, we've been able to again stock the stores nationwide with what many women call their favorite wintertime hand lotion, rich, concentrated, original Campana Balm. We're delighted, as we know you are, that this famous cold weather lotion could be reinstated on the toilet's goods counters in time for the winter weather this year. If by chance you've not been aware that original Campana Balm is back in circulation again, just ask for it in its sparkling green and white carton at your nearest store. During 1945, we've made countless friends also with the famous Solitaire Cake Makeup. Solitaire Cake Makeup contains lanolin, and more women every day are discovering the sure, smooth complexion beauty that Solitaire gives them so easily, so quickly, and hour after hour without redoing. In the more recent months just past, countless friends have written us their compliments about the new and exciting Solitaire Fashion Point lipstick, the lip-shaped lipstick, the only stick with a point that is shaped to fit your lips. Such acceptance is more than gratifying to all the workers at Campana, because we all have a very real pride in producing for you the very finest beauty aids that our hands can fashion. And now, may your Christmas be the merriest on record, and your new year brighter than ever before.
The lights are out, and the curtain rises on the first act of Little Town of Bethlehem. What is your name?
Josiah, son of Obed, son of Asa, the son of Zacharias, the son of...
Oh, Caesar does not ask who your ancestors were. Give me only your name.
Josiah of Bethlehem.
The name of your wife?
Leah.
Your trade and the number of your children.
I am a shepherd with 7 children. My flock's in the hills nearby, and
Enough. How much property do you own?
My house and 50 sheep.
That is all. Who is the next? And what is your name?
Joseph, the son of Jacob, the son of Matan, the son of Eliezer.
Hold. Must every Jew who registers recite his lineage to me? Did you not hear me say that all I wanted was your name?
But I am descended from the kings of Judea, from the great King David.
I know. So is everyone in Bethlehem. But the Roman emperor cares nothing about that. This is a Roman census.
I'm sorry.
I could have been through the enrollment by now if you Jews were not so garrulous. Come, is this your wife?
My name is Mary. I, too, am of the line of David.
Your voice sounds tired. Have you come far?
From the town of Nazareth in Galilee.
Sit down on that bench and rest a moment.
Thank you.
Now, Joseph, what is your trade, how many children, and how much property?
I am a carpenter. I have no property except my tools and the animal on which my wife is ridden from Nazareth. There are no children, as yet.
Very well. That is all.
Pardon, my lord, but we have no place to sleep. There was no room at the inn. Can you help me?
The town is filled with those who returned for the enrollment. I can do nothing. Oh, wait. Do you see that man talking with the soldier at the roadside? That is Simon, a rich merchant. He has a large house. He may have room for him.
Thank you. Come, Mary.
You have found a place for us to rest?
We will ask for a place to rest. Pardon, sir. You are the merchant, Simon?
Yes. What do you want?
I am Joseph of Nazareth, and this is my wife, Mary. The Roman governor said you might have some room in your house where we could sleep.
I have no room. The governor and his men are staying with me.
If you only had some small corner where we could rest.
My wife is very weary, sir.
I have said that my house is filled. You may sleep in the stable if you wish. That is all I can do for you.
The stable?
Let us go there, Joseph. We have tried so many places.
A stable, Mary? It is not what I would like.
We must be content. Lift me up to the saddle. There. If you lead the way, the little beast will follow.
Oh, Simon. I'm tired of listening to this babble. Claudius, take my place here. I'm going to rest.
Taking the census is an exhausting task, my lord.
Everyone in Judea must spring from Bethlehem. People have been pouring into the town all day.
Bethlehem is the city of David.
And everyone who is registered here claims descent from him.
That is true. And the dream of every mother of David's line is that she will bear the king of Micah's prophecy.
Micah's prophecy?
Have you never heard it? But thou, Bethlehem, though thou be little among the thousands of Judea, yet out of thee shall come forth he that is to be ruler in Israel.
So that's the prophecy, eh? You're all waiting for this new king.
Many believe he will come, my lord.
And you, Simon? What about you? Do you believe it?
I? Oh, it is rather the shepherds who talk of it.
I see. You're very careful, Simon. Perhaps you fear Herod, your king.
Herod despises the prophecy of Micah. He hates Bethlehem.
It would be well to keep this legend from him, then. But tell me about the carpenter and his wife from Nazareth. Did they find lodging?
I offered them my stable.
Your stable? Was there no room in your house?
The stable is good enough for such as they. My house is kept for Romans, my lord.
Oh, it's little wonder, Simon, that you are a rich and powerful man in Bethlehem. You have all the necessary qualities.
Thank you. If you are ready now to go to my house...
Oh, not yet. The enrollment will be going on far into the night. Oh, this town of Bethlehem is really beautiful, Simon.
Ah, my lord, in the days of David, Bethlehem was great.
One can see that. But the sons of David are not the warriors that he was. These crumbling walls, broken battlements. And yet you believe that your next king will come from here.
No, that, as I have told you, is but the tale of shepherds. A Roman soldier need not... Hark! Some nobleman is at the city gate. Who can it be?
We shall soon see.
Make way for King Herod! It is King Herod. King Herod has come to Bethlehem. I shall have a king, the ruler of Judea, as my guest tonight. Oh, I am the proudest man in the world.
The curtain comes down on the first act of the little town of Bethlehem. The second act of tonight's play.
Here, Mary. We can clear out this little space and be comfortable. Let me spread the blanket for you.
You are so good to me, Joseph.
You're tired, Mary. There. Now lie down.
Could you not bring the beast in out of the cold?
It is cold. But it is a clear, still night, Mary. Everything is peaceful. And there's a wonderful star over the courtyard. Can you see it through the open door?
Yes, I can see it. All the others are a white mist. Is it standing still? It seems to stand still.
Make way, make way. Stand aside.
What is that, Joseph?
Just someone bringing horses into the stable.
to the merchant himself, Joseph. He is leading the horses over here.
I pray, sir, you're frightening my wife.
Oh, the man from Nazareth. I'm sorry, but you will have to move. King Herod honors my house tonight. These are the horses of his party.
King Herod?
But his horses must have the best stalls.
But what are we to do? My wife...
All my life I've prayed that I might be honored by a visit from the king.
Surely you would not turn us out.
Move down to the other end of the stable. That stall where you see a manger. You can sleep there.
That will do, Joseph. Let us move.
I'm sorry, Mary. I seem able to do so little for you.
It does not matter. I am supremely happy.
I wish I had a better place to offer you, but one does not often have a visit from a king. He is at supper now with the Roman governor. I must go back to them.
That is true, Simon. One does not often have a visit from a king.
I regret to hear that you have so few about you whom you can trust, King Herod. There is no man whom a king can trust, Quirinius. Those whom I have loved most dearly have betrayed me. My wife, one of my sons, plotted against me.
That is very sad.
And paid with their heads. Now my youngest son, him who I trusted above all others, has turned against me.
And he, too, has paid with his head?
Not yet. I have but to reach the ear of Caesar.
I see.
You understand me, Quirinius. Let me tell you this. Great Caesar has no more faithful friend in all Judea than I, Herod.
I'm sure of that.
Bend close, Quirinius. There is something I would say to you. I suspect there may be treason brewing here in Bethlehem. These men have a myth about their descent from David. They plot continually for a new king, a Messiah who will come out of Bethlehem.
I've heard the prophecy.
But don't you see they're plotting against me?
It amounts to little. They've been talking of this for hundreds of years.
I am not so sure. When I called the scribes of the people together and asked them where this child was to be born, they said, in Bethlehem.
Is that why you've come to Bethlehem tonight?
Perhaps. And perhaps I shall stay longer than a night, just to make sure these...
Vicks presents the Matinee Theater, starring Victor Jory. Vicks, the makers of Vicks Vapor Rub, Vicks Vatronol, Vicks Cough Drops, and Vicks Inhaler, brings you the Matinee Theater, starring Victor Jory in a most unusual Christmas play. A Stable in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. First, here's a good thing to remember when you catch a cold. The best-known remedy for relieving miseries of colds is Vicks Vapor Rub.
Ladies and gentlemen, today from the stage of the Matinee Theater, Vicks invites you to enjoy a modern miracle play. A different kind of Christmas story with a special meaning for all of us. A Stable in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. It's Christmas Eve, and behind the window of an exclusive Fifth Avenue club, two elderly men look out on the world with jaundiced eyes. In the sumptuous lounge of the club, there are only these two tonight, trying to conceal their loneliness at this festive time with bickering and cynicism.
Oh, these chimes. I suppose we'll have to listen to those chimes all evening, Gordon.
Yes, Christmas. The commercialism and hypocrisy of the whole thing turns my stomach tonsils.
Oh, that's something we agree on.
It's all so obvious. Think of all those millions of people out there wrapping presents. Why? only because they feel obligated or they're trying to bribe somebody.
Take you all these years to learn that?
And these Christmas cards, nothing but assembly line sentiment. People buy a card, put it in an envelope, stick a stamp on it, and send it off saying, there, thank the Lord, he's taken care of. Christmas cards are a system whereby people remember to forget you. Greetings of the season.
Yes. And when they get through sweeping out the tinsel and adding up their bills, they'll be back at each other's throats again.
Look at these hollyhocks in the window. That Christmas tree with all its baubles. By George, I'm going to complain to the board of directors about this. Just needless expense. But I suppose I won't get anywhere. There's a prize collection of nitwits, our board of directors.
No. Wait a minute, Gordon. Wait a minute. I resent that. I happen to be a member of that board.
I apologize. I should have said they're all nitwits but one.
Well, thank you.
And that one's a fool.
Huh? Now, look here, Gordon.
All right. You know, Townsend, I'll make you a wager.
What's that?
I'll bet not 1 in 50 people down there in the street knows the story of Christmas, of Bethlehem, the shepherds.
Oh, they know the story, all right. The strange thing about it is that they believe it.
You're right. The miracle of Bethlehem is a myth.
Are you sure of that, sir?
Huh? What's that?
Who are you?
You're new here, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Oh, I see. A substitute, eh? I suppose because some of the staff are home trimming their Christmas trees, celebrating. We don't matter, of course. We just pay our dues.
I'm here to serve you, gentlemen.
And probably getting time and a half because it's Christmas Eve. Well, we want 2 hot toddies. That's the only real thing about Christmas, the club's toddies.
Yes, sir.
And hot means hot, not lukewarm.
Wait. Tell me something.
Yes, sir?
What did you mean just a moment ago when you said to me, are you sure of that?
Well, sir, you said the story of Christmas, of Bethlehem, and the shepherds was a myth.
Yes, I said that. What about it?
I'm sorry, sir. I must disagree with you.
What do you mean by that?
Well, sir, you see, the story of Christmas is true. I know that for a fact. It happened again only a year ago.
Oh, stop talking in circles, man. Explain yourself. Just what are you driving at?
The eternal story of Christmas, sir. It happened to real people. I heard about it from someone I know.
Heard about it? From whom?
Well, let's say he was a friend. He drove a truck carrying freight from here to Pittsburgh. 2 or 3 of them traveled together, as you might say, in caravans.
An ingenious beginning. Caravans of trucks, is it? Like camels in biblical days, eh?
You might say so.
All right. Go on with your story.
It was last Christmas Eve, just a year ago tonight, gentlemen. This friend of mine, his name is Michael, was driving through Jersey on the way to Pittsburgh, and this night he was alone on the road. The other drivers were home with their families. As he passed through towns along the way, he saw the houses and churches lighted up, and his heart was heavy with loneliness. Suddenly, snow began to fall so thickly that he could hardly see anything ahead of him. Mike drove along slowly, feeling his way. And all at once, the figure of a man loomed up in the flood of his headlights, stood there, motionless in the middle of the road. Mike had to slam on his brakes so that he wouldn't run over him.
Hey, now, for the love of Mike, man, what do you mean stand in the road like that? You could have got yourself rolled flat as in a pancake. Are you crazy?
I'm sorry, mister, but I had to stop you.
Yeah? A soldier, huh? Well, what's the idea? What do you want?
Are you heading west?
Sure, that's my general direction. Why?
Well, could you give us a lift? Just a little way even into some town, maybe?
Us?
Yeah, me and my wife.
Your wife? What are you talking about, soldier?
I left her back at a big sign over there while I tried to stop you.
Back of the sign? Hey, what in...
Look, it kind of protects it from the wind. We've got to get into some town quick, mister.
Yes, you said that before. But what are you two doing out in a night like this?
Well, you see, we're in a little tourist camp down the road, and there was no chance of getting a doctor there, so we thought we could pick up a ride. Look, mister, my wife's going to have a baby.
Well, for the love of... Why didn't you say so in the first place? What do you use your brains for anyway, fella?
Well, I...
Yes, well, don't you know they've got to be kept warm? Now go and get her.
Oh, thanks. I'll only be a minute. Mary, hurry, it's okay.
You run up against on the road. A fine thing. Me, a delivery boy for the store. I must have seen that sign 100 times. Golden Rule Department Store. Our slogan is, do unto others as you'd have others do unto you. Well, they couldn't have picked a better sign. Look, Bud. Hurry up.
Oh, we're ready, mister.
Okay. Get in. Gosh, lady, you look half frozen.
I am kind of cold.
Well, when I shut the door, the engine will warm you up. Now, don't be afraid of crowding me. The seat's plenty wide for the feet.
All set?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We'll find some place in the road and stop for some hot coffee. That'll thaw you out, ma'am.
I don't know what we would have done if you hadn't stopped for Joe.
It's going to be all right now, Mary, honey. He understands.
Well, I wouldn't say that, Joe. Me being a bachelor. But like my mother used to put it, bless her soul, babies manage somehow to make their way into the world.
Yeah. How far is it to the next town? Can't we go a little faster?
No, Bud, you can't make time in the snow.
Oh, don't worry, Joe. I'm all right, honest I am.
Where are you bound for, son?
St. Louis.
St. Louis. Boy, you've got a long way to go.
Yeah. But, you see, that's where Mary was born.
I see.
Her folks still live there. She wanted to be there when we had our baby.
Oh.
There isn't much time left on my furlough, but I thought maybe we could make it. At least I'd know I was leaving her in good hands.
Oh, everything will be fine, Joe. You'll see. Just keep your arm around me. Hold me closer.
Say, there's a blanket in back there. Put it around her, Joe.
Oh, thanks.
Boy, this is a funny Christmas Eve for me to be spending Mike Riley with a family on his hands. But don't think you're going to get away without paying me for the trip, folks.
Oh, paying you?
Sure. If the little one happens to be a boy, ma'am, you can pay me by making one of his names Michael.
Oh, I think that could be arranged.
We're all of one mind, then, are we? Fine. And back home, I've got the christening present all ready for the child. The self-same crib in which I was nursed and my father before me. Come all the way from Ireland, it did.
Oh, that'd be wonderful. Joe was going to make a crib all by himself.
Oh?
You see, he was a carpenter before he went in the Army. The best carpenter you ever saw.
No, honey, I wasn't that good.
Never try to argue with a woman, Joe. What about that crib I'm going to give you? Now that's something for a baby to stretch himself in, with plenty of rooms to kick his legs in the air. Hand-carved it is. All of it. And right at the head are two angels. The little fella can't open his eyes without seeing them. And this fine crib with all the trimmings is yours, ma'am.
Oh, we'd feel very proud to have you as a godfather, Mike.
Thank you.
You don't mind if I call you Mike?
Mike it is, ma'am. The only time I get Michael is when I see it on my pay-on roll.
Yeah, I'm always Joe. Last man to call me Joseph was the minister who married us. Remember, honey?
Yes, he was so nice.
He said, Joseph, do you take this woman? And Mary, do you take this man? Gee, my knees were so wobbly I could hardly stand.
Yeah, I remember how funny you look.
Watch us, son.
Oh, what's the matter, honey?
Oh, nothing. I just feel a little sick.
Mike, we've got to get her to a doctor.
Oh.
What can we do?
Well, we're going as fast as we can. If we're going any faster, we'll end up in the ditch. We're going to do our best, soldier. And that's about all we can do.
Well, what's the rest of your story? Why did you stop?
I just thought you might want your hot toddies, sir.
Well, never mind the toddies. You go on.
Yes, go on, Joseph. Joseph, the carpenter, and his wife, Mary. I must admit the first part of your story has a very ingenious parallel. But where do we go from here?
Well, the storm got worse and worse. And the truck staggered on through the blizzard. It was a night that never seemed to end. Joe and Mary held on to each other desperately, like two frightened children. Mike was groping for words to help them. It wasn't easy. Come out of it, you two, now, will you? Come out of it now. No matter what happens, you have each other. Think of me riding up and down this road day in, day out. You don't know what it means not to have someone you can put your arms around and love.
Oh, I know, Mike, but Mary's hardly more than a kid. We've had so little time together. Why, we haven't even got a...
You don't know what you've got, son. You don't know what you've got compared to lots of other people.
He's right, Joe. So right. Please, listen to him.
Now, you take a fellow like me, Mary. I go along the road passing by houses with all the lights shining out at me and the kids laughing and dogs barking and people safe inside their houses. And it gives me an emptiness in my stomach. Because, you see, me and my truck, we could disappear into the darkness of the night and no one would care one way or the other. You know what I mean? We come into this world lonesome, and it's a wonderful thing when you can find someone to share it with you and fill all that emptiness.
Well, what are you slowing down for, Mike? You stopping?
Yeah, and not because we want to.
What is it, Mike?
I'm afraid the radiator's frozen up.
Gosh, it stopped.
You're telling me?
Mike, we got to think of something. Mary's feeling awful bad.
And now keep your shirt on, son.
We can't stay here in the middle of the road.
No, we can't. Here, Joe, take this flashlight. Open the door.
All right.
What does that sign say on the other side of the road there? There. Can you see?
Yeah.
There?
1 mile to Bethlehem.
1 mile to Bethlehem. Why, I know where we are. You're going to be okay, Mary, okay.
A mile. Might as well be 1,000 miles right now.
Not as bad as that, Joe. There's an old guy lives down the road a little way. It isn't much of a place. It used to be a livery stable. And when horses went out of style, the old bird stuck a couple of gas pumps out in front.
Yeah, but do you think he'll help us out?
Sure, he'll help us. I buy gas from him, I do all the while. He's one of those Pennsylvania Dutchmen. Folks call him Papa Bauer. Come on, Mary. Put your arms around my neck and I'll carry you.
I'm sorry to be so much trouble, Mike.
Trouble? Think nothing of it, kid. Take the flashlight, Joe.
Yeah, all right.
Huh? You're just a little wee bit of a girl, Mary. I can hardly feel you in my arms.
You feel all right, honey?
Of course. I know we're safe now, dear.
The snow's getting deeper. Better stay here in the middle of the road, Mike.
We'll be there in a minute.
Let me hold your hand, Joe.
Oh, sure, honey, sure.
I'm scared. I'm scared, Joe.
Hold on to her hand tight, Joe. That's what she wants more than anything else.
I'm all right. I've got to be all right.
Gotta hurry, Mike. Where is this place? I can't see anything but snow.
We'll get there, Joe. We've just got to keep going, too. Keep going. It's not far now. Well, look, there it is.
Where?
There. I knew it was around here. Take Mary, Joe. Let's see if I can wake up the old man. Come on, Bauer, open up the door.
I suppose he isn't home.
He's got to be home. Bauer, wake up.
Who this? What you want?
Open your howl. Open the door. Mike Riley. Come on downstairs. Make it snappy.
Mike Riley?
Yeah, and I got trouble on my hands. I've got to use your telephone. I need some hot water for my truck. It's froze up down the road.
I'll be right down, Mike. Just a chance give me to get in my pants.
Okay. We'll be inside in a minute, Mary. How are you feeling?
Oh, fine, Mike. If you could only make Joe believe it.
Don't be about him. He believes it, don't you, Joe?
Huh? Oh, yeah, sure.
You've got to forgive him, Mary. He can't help acting like a father.
Yeah, that's right, honey. That's all. Mary. Mike, he's fainted. Mary!
Well, they waited a few minutes. Joe and Mike and Mary. Minutes that seemed like hours. Papa Bauer finally came down and let them in. And there they were, Mary and Joseph and Mike Riley, in a stable near Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
That's pretty good. Mary and Joseph and Mike Riley. Yeah, but what about the shepherds and the wise men?
Oh, they came. And there was a star, too.
Oh, come now.
Would you like me to finish, John?
By all means. I wouldn't miss this for the world.
No, right. Go on.
Well, Mike and Papa Bauer started calling up doctors for Mary. But it was Christmas Eve. It didn't seem any of them were at home. They must have tried about 20 doctors, going right down the list. But all they got were maids who said they'd try and find Dr. So-and-so and tell him about it. They were getting desperate. Mary and Joe were upstairs in Papa Bauer's room. And they all knew Mary's baby would be born soon. This one's out, too.
My.
What do you have to do to get a doctor around here, anyway?
Well, Mike, it's, Christmas Eve.
Yeah, well, look, you keep on the phone, Bauer. I'm going upstairs. Let me know if you have any luck.
I keep my trying.
How is she, Joe?
Oh, I don't know. Did you get a doctor?
The old man's still on the phone.
You mean you can't find a doctor? Oh, Mike, it's not fair. You can't expect her to have a baby in a stable with no one to help her.
Don't worry, Joe. Please, darling.
Don't worry. It's all right to say, but we're only kidding ourselves.
Now, wait a minute, kid. Don't make it any worse for her.
May I have some water?
Sure, Mary, all the water you want.
Here you are, honey.
Thank you, dear.
Now, you just sit down, Joe. No, right here on the bed. Listen, Joe. You said something about a woman having a baby all by herself in a stable. Well, I'm not exactly a religious guy, but I can remember my grandfather telling me a story I never forgot.
Oh, Mike, this is no time for stories.
It's always time for this story, Joe. I can still see the old boy's gentle smile as he told it to me. It went something like this. The birth of young Jesus, he'd say, was a miraculous thing. It happened in those days that Joseph came to Bethlehem with his wife Mary, who was great with child. There was no room at the inn for them, nor accommodations. But there in a stable, she brought forth her firstborn child, a son, and wrapped him in swaddling clothes. And because she didn't have a crib, she put him in a manger. Now, in that part of the country near Bethlehem, in the Holy Land, there were some shepherds keeping watch over their flocks by night. And what do you suppose happened? An angel of the Lord came down to them. The glory of the Lord shone all around them. They were pretty scared, these shepherds. But the angel said to them, you don't have to be afraid. I'm bringing you tidings of great joy, which shall belong to all people. Right now, in the city of Bethlehem, a child is born. He's the Savior of all men, and you'll find him lying in a manger. And suddenly, with the angel was a heavenly host praising God and saying, Glory be to God in the highest, and on earth peace, goodwill toward men.
It's beautiful, Mike.
I only wish I could have told it to you like my grandfather did.
Mike, come and sit down.
Well, I guess maybe Bauer caught up with the doctor.
Oh, I hope so.
I'll be right back. What is it, Bauer? Did you find the doctor?
No, but listen.
Listen?
Do you hear?
Do I? Wait a minute. That's police sirens.
I wonder what is the trouble yet.
I don't know. Hey, they're coming here.
Is he coming?
Maybe now we can get some help. Don't you see? Maybe they can round up a doc or take Mary to a hospital.
All right, you guys, come on, stick 'em up.
It's okay, Chief. I got him covered.
What goes on here? Are you coppers nuts or something?
Yeah, what do you want?
You'll find out.
Keep reaching for the ceiling.
Now, wait a minute, you guys, and keep quiet, will you? There's somebody upstairs who needs a doctor and needs him back.
We know all about it. We brought a doctor along.
Did you hear that, Mike?
Yeah.
All right, Dr. Henshaw. I'll keep these two guys covered. You upstairs. You too, Wilson. And be careful. They may be desperate.
Okay, come on, Doc.
Say, Chief, what's the big idea?
You phoned for a doctor, didn't you?
Sure, but we didn't hope for this kind of service.
I am a quiet, law-abiding man. Everybody knows Papa Bao.
Never mind. Stand up against the wall, you two. What's your name?
Mike Riley.
I suppose you don't know anything about the stick-up at the country club tonight.
Stick-up? Oh, listen, Chief, I'm a truck driver. I'm out to Pittsburgh.
Now I'll tell one.
Well, it's true. But truck's parked just up the road with a frozen radiator.
Hey, Swenson, go see if there's a truck around here.
Yeah, Chief.
What I can't understand is who sent you here.
Yeah, all we did was phone for a doctor.
And that's where you made your mistake.
Huh?
One of the doctors you phoned was Dr. Henshaw, the one upstairs. He's a member of the Bethlehem Vigilance Committee.
The which?
You heard me. A group of professional businessmen who make it a point to suppress crime.
And what's the criminal about what's happening here?
Quiet. 3 members of the committee were at the country club when you pulled up that stick-up. Dr. Henshaw, Lawyer Marshy, and Mr. Davis, who owns the Golden Rule department store. And Dr. Henshaw's maid phoned and said there was a rush call out here. They put 2 and 2 together and called me at headquarters.
Well, I'm afraid they're going to be surprised.
Oh, yeah? We'll see who's surprised. The job was pulled by a mob of 4. The 4th guy was a little slow on the getaway. As he was leaving, he saw a pendant that Mrs. Henshaw was wearing and stopped to rip it off. By the time he got to the door, the steward had a chance to get the gun out of his desk, and he winged this 4th guy in the leg. So naturally, he'd be needing a doctor.
And so these 3 wise guys think they can pin it on us. Chief, you may not know it, but you've seen a miracle happen tonight.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No?
You will find out.
It's okay now, Chief.
What's okay, Wilson?
We got here just in time.
Where's the doc?
Oh, he's upstairs. And you ought to see the little rascal who caused all this commotion.
This ought to be good, Bauer.
Yeah.
I don't see what's so funny.
You should have seen him, Chief. Sweet as a lamb.
Huh? Didn't he make any fuss?
Not a single yip out of him.
Did he pull any rough stuff?
Only grabbed hold of my finger.
Wilson, you've been drinking. Now pull yourself together. Listen carefully. What did he say? Will he talk?
Well, in a year, maybe. You can't expect too much.
Wilson, what are you talking about?
The baby, of course.
What? Did you say a baby?
That's what he said. I heard him.
Well, for the flat-footed.
Now, Chief, watch your language. There's a child in the house.
I was going to kiss him, but Dr. Henshaw said I might give him germs.
Did you hear that, Bauer? It's a him.
Yeah, is it not wonderful? And in my stable already.
Listen. Will you be listening to him now? With a pair of lungs like those, there's no telling what he'll make of himself in the world. And now, Chief, if you put that gun down, I'll be on my way upstairs.
I think I'll go with you.
Oh, sure, and why not now? And you know, once the little darling sets his eyes on my beaming countenance, he'll be nothing but smiles. And while I'm at it, Chief, I'm going to ask him what he was doing at the country club tonight. You know, he's much too young to be doing gallivanting. So you see, gentlemen, there was Mary, Joseph, and the baby in that stable in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. There were the doctor, the lawyer, and the merchant, 3 very wise and good men. And though they'd made quite a mistake, the police were there, too. Shepherds of the law, you might call them. In many ways, it was like the story of that other Bethlehem. And as I said before, there was even a star.
A star?
Oh, yes. Remember I said the policemen were trailing a stolen pendant?
Yes.
Well, that pendant was a star sapphire. And that's what the wise men and the shepherds were looking for when they arrived at Papa Bauer's stable.
Well, star sapphire. Think of that.
And did these wise men of yours bring gifts?
Yes, sir. The merchant, Mr. Davis, brought clothes for the baby from his store, dressed him and warm. And the doctor gave Mary and Joe a big Christmas dinner, brought it all the way out to Papa Bauer's. Mike was there and half the police force.
What about the lawyer?
Oh, he did his part. He made all the arrangements for Mary and the baby to go to her folks in St. Louis in real style.
What do you think of that?
What do I think of it? I think it's one of the most heartwarming stories I ever heard. I think it calls for a drink.
Right, and you must join us, waiter. What do you say to some hot Christmas toddies?
You're very kind, sir, but I must ask you to excuse me.
Nonsense. Your story has turned what promised to be a long, dreary evening into a most enjoyable one. An evening I shall never forget. Hey, Gordon?
I should say so. This is the first Christmas Eve in years that I haven't felt,
lonely is the word you're looking for, Gordon.
Yes, that's it. Lonely.
If I may say so, gentlemen, there's never any need for loneliness. And especially at Christmas time. There's a cure for loneliness, and it's very simple. All you have to do is to find someone who is poor and unhappy, and bring them the warmth of charity and understanding. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to attend to my duties.
You know, Townsend, there's something strange about that fellow.
Yes, but I did enjoy his story.
Townsend, maybe there's more to Christmas than we thought. Possibly we've built a shell around us, a shell through which the good things, the kind things can't get through.
Yes, and it took a waiter to show it to us.
Well, Townsend, I wonder what that fellow's doing about those toddies. I'd better ring.
Now, why do you suppose he wouldn't have a Christmas toddy with us?
Oh, I don't know. Probably
Yes, gentlemen, did you ring?
Oh, it's you, Tom.
Why, yes, Mr. Gordon. Naturally.
Oh, I thought you were off tonight, Tom.
Oh, no, sir. Not on Christmas Eve.
Well, then why did you have that other man wait on us?
Other man? What other man?
Why, the man who just left us. The man we've been talking to.
I'm afraid I don't understand, sir. My station is just outside the door. Aside from you 2 gentlemen, I've seen no one enter or leave this room.
What?
That's right, sir. And I can assure you that we have no extra waiters on tonight.
No extra waiters? What?
Wait, Gordon. All right, Tom. Please bring us 3 hot toddies.
Did you say 3, sir?
Yes, Tom. 3. 1 for Mr. Gordon, 1 for me, and 1 for the, shall we say, the spirit of Christmas.
This is Victor Jory, friends. I do hope you've enjoyed our Christmas play. And you know this Christmas is unusual because Americans will observe Christmas this year in many, many parts of the world in many different ways. Yes, in many different ways. As one small voice in the never-to-be-stilled spirit of Christmas, I want to express you the deep and sincere holiday wishes of all of us who bring you Vic's Matinee Theater. Our producers, our cast, our director, our writers, and our technical men, Mr. Warno and his orchestra, and our sponsor, Vic's. To you, our audience, we say thanks for your many expressions of appreciation for our efforts, the knowledge that you're enjoying our productions, and to your relatives in the service of our country who can't be with you tomorrow, well, God bless them and bring them back safely for another Christmas. Thank you, and a very Merry Christmas.
Today's play was by David Victor and Herbert Little, Jr. and was based on an original story by Charles Tazwell. It was directed by Richard Sanville. Next Sunday, Vic's Matinee Theater will bring you the story of a woman who couldn't spare the time for love and a man who changed her mind. The gay, romantic Paramount comedy in which Claudette Colbert and Fred McMurray made such a delightful couple. Next week, No Time for Love, starring Victor Jory. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
A Manger in Padua, by Glyn Day, produced by Andre Botma. The world is made up of opposites, of love and hate, of peace and war. At this special time of year, we think, or should think, of peace. I remember the war and of what Christmas meant to me then. This is a true story. Some of the details are a little hazy, some of the sentiments perhaps a little colored by time. Maybe you've heard it before. There were other soldiers like me, fighting for their country. Other soldiers who spent their Christmas dodging the Germans. But my story ends at Christmas time. It begins a few months earlier. As a member of the Cape Town Highlanders, I left my home country with a contingent of young South Africans, all bound for North Africa. We joined forces with Montgomery and his men and fought against Rommel in Tobruk. By February 1943, we had forced Rommel back to Wadi Akarit. The way to Europe was now open. It was decided to attack Italy. Forces moved into Sicily. It was a warm summer's evening when we were put ashore somewhere between Syracuse and Cape Passero on the east coast. I remember how cautiously we made our way inland, fearing that our enemies had planned an ambush somewhere along the road that led to the nearest town. Roger Blake, a young lieutenant from Montgomery's 8th Army, joined me on the march.
Blimey, mate. This is worse than the Sunday traffic to Brighton.
Keep it quiet, Rog.
Well, why's everyone moving so slowly, then?
For heaven's sake, we can't just go storming across the fields, yelling an invitation for someone to perforate us with his machine gun, now can we?
You mean Mussolini's morons? Not a chance. I'll lay you 50 to 1 they're halfway up the Swiss Alps by now.
Oh, it's a ruddy long way away from here.
Or maybe they heard that you were here, so they took a trip to Cape Town. I can just see them surrounded by lions and tigers and elephants and things.
Look, I've told you before, we don't live in a jungle. It's a civilized city, probably even more civilized than your stinking Brighton that you keep on about.
You're dead right, mate. It does stink. And I'll tell you something else, I love it. It can stink to high heaven all it wants, but please just let me smell it again. I'd rather have dear old Brighton's pond than the stinking stink of war.
Go on with you. You're only happy when you're fighting.
Be a soldier and see the world, they said. All I've seen so far are a lot of muddy boots and the sergeant's tonsils when he yells. Get down! Get down! Oh, that wasn't a jerry gun. That was one of ours, mate. And you know something else? There was no answering report. Here, hang on. There's some action over to our right. Come on, let's see what gives.
What's happened, Roger?
They've gone, that's what. What did I tell you? They've scarpered with their tails between their legs.
Who have?
The eye ties, mate. The place is deserted.
So, what happens now?
We move on. We're heading towards Mount Etna. Should have brought me camera. Happy holiday snaps from Roger. Look, Ma, that's me at the foot of Mount Etna singing, Lover, come back to me.
We were held up for 3 weeks on the Catamian plain. Roger's natural ebullience waned a little when he realized that the Germans were pretty in command along the ridges to the south of Mount Etna. On the 25th of July, Mussolini resigned and was imprisoned. Marshal Pietro Badoglio took over, but surrendered to the Germans early in September. Meanwhile, we kept on the move, backwards and forwards, dodging the German bullets, and of course letting loose quite a few of our own. Eventually, however, we found ourselves en route to Padua, better known perhaps as Padua. It was on this journey that a small party of us, including Roger, walked straight into the enemy's hands.
Isn't it a beautiful country here? We're in the Po Valley region. Did you know that? Lots of small peasant farms around here. Dairy farms, mainly.
Yes, and plenty of hiding places, too. The Jerrys have probably scared the wits out of local peasants, taken over their farmhouses by now.
Hold it! What's up? Keep down. Flatten down, chaps, and keep still.
I saw something move over there, in those trees. There are two of them, obviously on guard.
Oh, yeah, I see them. This calls for a little plan, don't you think? Here, I'll tell you what. I'll creep forward to where this tall grass ends and then fire a couple of warning shots in their direction. Taking careful aim first, of course, so I don't accidentally hit the trees. You count to 5, and then scarper as fast as you can to your left. But don't open fire until I give you the word.
What's the idea?
Well, we don't know how many of them there are. And I don't want them to know just yet how many of us there are. This way we find out, and they won't have the slightest idea where the main party is, because you'll be over there. Got it?
It's as clear as mud.
Good. Now remember, 5 seconds after I fired, move.
Right with you, Roger.
Good. Here goes. Wish me luck.
You are surrounded. Now, drop your guns and stand up slowly. Don't try to escape, or we will shoot you.
That's an old trick, Jerry. You can't fool us. Ah!
Roger, you all right?
Bleeding Jerry's telling the truth for once. They're all around us, Ian. Oh, you just can't trust them, can you? Little liars, usually.
Now, do you believe me, Tommy? Come on, otherwise we mow you down and leave you to drown in your own blood. I will give you 3 seconds. That is all.
Generous, isn't he? Nice turn of phrase, though, I'll give him that.
1.
He can count 2. Must be educated.
You better do as he says, Roger.
2.
All right. Help me up here. Righto, chaps. We've had it this time. Everybody up.
3.
Congratulations, mate. Nice bit of counting. Sorry I can't raise my hands in surrender, but you got me in the shoulder, see? I'm bleeding all over me nice muddy tunic.
Silence! You will move forward so that we can search you. And then you will march in single file into the village.
Ooh, he's going to buy us crumpets and tea. Isn't that nice?
Quiet, Rog. You want to be a dead prisoner or one with a chance to escape?
My lips are sealed, mate, but my eyes are wide open. And my right arm would give anything to push his stupid face in for what he's done to my left one.
You! Move! And don't try any foolishness. Otherwise, we shoot.
Oh, he'd be great in films, wouldn't he? Should I offer him a contract?
He'll offer you a bullet in a minute.
He's given me one already.
Come on, let's move.
Yeah, I suppose we'd better, hadn't we?
You're all right, Rog. You look terrible.
Thanks. That makes me feel a lot better.
Oh, sorry, chum.
How much further do you think?
Oh, don't ask me. We seem to have been marching for miles. Countryside's all new to me. Can't be far from Padua, though. Well, that's where we're heading, remember? And we've been walking in the same direction.
Yeah.
Here, lean on me. You should have let me take a look at that wound of yours.
Rubbish. Oh, it's just a graze.
Since when does a graze bleed like a river?
Look, mate, we let these ruddy cherries see that I'm badly wounded, and they shoot me on the spot like a ruddy horse that can't run anymore. So you just let me play my little heroic game a little while longer, will you?
Yeah, sure.
If you want the truth, though, it hurts like the devil all the way down my arm.
I wish I could do something for you. You ever been captured before?
No. First time lucky. And I don't think I like it very much, being herded along like a lot of sheep going to who knows where.
Why don't we map out our own route, then?
Escape? You must be joking. Have you counted how many of them there are? We haven't got a snowball's hope, mate.
Just keep your eyes open, Rog, and if you get any ideas, don't keep them to yourself. We must have marched for about an hour and a half. The one thing I'll say for the Germans, they were much fitter than we were. We all looked and felt pretty exhausted, but the Germans who guarded us looked as if they could have marched that pace for another 2 hours at least. We were marched onto an almost deserted platform. Almost, except for about 10 Nazi soldiers who looked as if they'd gladly have murdered their own fathers if they'd tried to take the station away from them. We had to wait for about an hour in the fading winter sunlight until a special train arrived to take us on the first lap of our journey towards those notorious German prisoner of war camps about which we'd heard so much. I was determined not to spend the rest of the war, and possibly the rest of my life, being tortured by the Nazis.
They serve drinks on this train.
Don't you ever lose your sense of humor.
That's all I've got left, mate.
Sorry, Roger. I didn't mean to put a damper on it.
You couldn't, not really. If anything, it'll be the bleeding war that does it. But I'm fighting against it. Hey, do you know what the date is?
Well, let's see. It's, December, isn't it?
15th. 10 days to Christmas. Have you wrapped my present yet?
I don't fancy spending Christmas in a concentration camp.
Oh, I don't know. Might be fun. I'm sure they'll hand out funny hats and crackers and fill our army stockings with goodies. Just like back home.
I've got an idea how we can avoid all that.
What do you mean?
I mean escape.
How?
Did you notice when we got on the train that there are only 4 guards on this coach?
Yeah? So?
So, 2 have to be here, watching over us, and 2 are in the corridor, 1 at either end.
Go on.
Well, if I visit the toilet, I reduce the number of guards on me to 1.
Well, how'd you work that out? You said there were 2 in the corridor.
Yes. But one's at one end, and the other will guard the toilet door. Got it?
Not quite. What do you plan to do?
I'm going to pretend that I need to go pretty badly. Now, when I'm inside, and this is where you come in, I want you to create some sort of diversion. The fellow guarding me will have his attention distracted by the noise in here, and that's when I slip out and make a jump for it.
Hey, it might work at that. All right, mate, you can count on me. And good luck.
Thanks, Rog. And if I don't see you, Merry Christmas.
You're in Italy now, mate. I believe the greeting is Buon Natale. Anyway, send my Christmas present care of Hitler, will you?
Getting out of the compartment was easy. I edged my way along the corridor with one of the guards at my side. The other eyed me suspiciously, but as we reached the toilet door, he turned his head away, quite content that everything was perfectly normal. I went in and closed the door behind me with a clatter, prayed that Roger had heard. He had.
Oh, help! My arm! Help me, son! I can't take it anymore! Got to get a doctor! The pain in my arm! A doctor, please!
Quiet! You'll get you a doctor in the Manger camp. There are no doctors on this train.
What is wrong?
It's all right. It's a prisoner who was shot.
Yeah, come on, you. Back in there. Now! Not on your life!
The plan hadn't worked exactly as I'd figured it would. But the main thing was I was alive and I was free. At least for a while. One of those shots had hit me in the leg, just above the ankle, and I'd cut my face when I jumped through the window. When I hit the ground, I rolled down some sort of embankment. It was pretty dark and freezing cold, and I didn't have the vaguest idea where I was. All I knew was that somehow I had to keep moving. I stumbled my way through the night, more or less in the direction from which we'd come. Hours later, in the grey light of morning, I stopped and looked around me. Through some sort of haze, I saw farmland stretching before me. There was a river and bridges crossing it at intervals. Somewhere in the distance, there was a large white building. I suddenly realized how weak I was. I'd lost a lot of blood, and my leg hurt like the devil. I moved forward, wondering to myself whether that white building was occupied by Germans or by Italian peasants. I remember deciding to risk it and stumbling forward into the field. I never got there. Somewhere along the way, I fell over and lost consciousness. Next thing I remember was the faint smell of hay. And when I opened my eyes, there was someone sitting near me, watching me. I thought at first that I was dreaming. And then the figure turned and called out to someone in what I thought was another room.
Papa, come quick. The young man has opened his eyes.
Bring all that hot soup, Anna. Our friends need of it.
Please,
Please, do not try to talk, Mr. Anthony. You are very weak.
But how do you know who I am? What happened?
I will tell you everything. Just lie quiet. My daughter Anna found you lying in the field a little way away from our farmhouse. You were sick and hurt. She called to me, and we brought you to the house. You are in the attic. We had to put you here because of the Germans. They are always around, and we pray that they do not look here for you. You have been unconscious and delirious for 2 days.
2 days?
No, we know who you are, because my daughter saw your picture in the village. It is a reward for your capture.
Here is the soup, Papa.
Good. No, do not worry, Signor Anthony. You are safe with us. We do not like the Germans. This is my daughter, Anna. She is beautiful, yes? She will look after you.
Come, Signor Anthony. The soup is good. I made it myself.
I don't know what...
Do not talk yet. You can talk when you are stronger. Come. I will feed you. Signor Anthony, you are awake. How do you feel?
Much better today, Anna. Much better.
Yes, you are looking better. There is color in your cheeks.
There's color in your cheeks, too.
Oh, well, that is because you are looking at me as if I was... As if you...
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you blush, but you are lovely, you know. Especially when your cheeks are red.
You are awful.
How long have I been here?
3 days, that is all.
Are there really pictures of me in the village?
Yes. Big posters with your name and a photo.
Where did they get a photo of... Oh, I know. My papers. They took them away from me when they took me prisoner.
You are much better looking than your photo.
Careful. I'll be blushing next.
How is your leg?
Oh, it feels much better. Was it you that cleaned me up, when they brought me in all dirty, full of blood? Oh, now you're blushing again. I didn't mind. I just wanted to say thank you. Anna, what's that bundle in the corner?
Oh, that. It is some sticks of dynamite which Papa hid in some flour sacking in case the Germans looked up here. Papa says if ever they try to take us prisoner, he will blow us all up. But I don't think he means it.
Anna, are we far from the railway station?
A couple of miles.
Come here. Just help me to the window.
Oh.
I want to see something.
Take my hand. Come. That's the way.
There. Yes, I see. What bridge is that over there?
It is a railway bridge. I've seen German troop trains pass over there, usually in the early morning.
Anna, I have an idea, and I want you and your papa to help me. First, I want you to go into the... Well, Anna, what news?
I saw some Germans at the station, but they did not see me. They were talking loudly. Tomorrow morning at 5 a.m., a big train full of soldiers.
5 a.m. Come, we have work to do. Can you find me some fuse wire and a pair of pliers?
There is a fuse wire with the dynamite. And here is a pair of pliers in Papa's toolbox. Oh, look, Ian, it is beginning to snow.
Yeah, it's going to be a cold morning.
Papa says he will go with you. I wish I could be at your side, too.
No, Anna. This is a man's war. You must stay here and pray for us.
Will you take this with you?
But I'm not a Catholic.
Oh, that does not matter. This rosary will protect you. I will pray for your life to the Virgin Mother.
Thank you, Anna. Dynamite's in place. You take cover, Papa. I'll stay here till I hear the train, light the fuse, then make a dash for it.
Let me do it.
No, Papa, I must do it. For Roger's sake and others like him. For your sake, too. And Anna's.
See, I think I understand.
Listen. There it is. It's early. Run, Papa, run.
I go.
Right. Got to get this alight. Oh, blast. My fingers are frozen. Come on. There. Now I've got to get out of here. And fast. There was a blinding flash as the dynamite blew the bridge to pieces. I held my breath for a second, and then the German troop train went hurtling into space and crashed into the icy river below.
You're awake? Ian, Buon Natale.
What?
Merry Christmas.
It's Christmas?
I have a present for you.
What is it?
Here, open it and see.
But it's a very old Father Christmas. And a carving of a mother and child.
The Father Christmas was my grandmother's. The carving is of the Virgin and her child, the baby Jesus. Papa carved it during the First World War when he was a soldier like you. For the girl he loved. It was for Mama. And Mama gave it to me before she died. Now I give it to you.
But they must both be very precious to you.
That is what Christmas means, to give away the most precious things, not the most expensive, to those whom you love.
Anna, if ever I get out of this war alive, I want you to marry me. And I'd swim from Cape Town to Padua if I have to.
Oh, Ian, that is your gift to me, and it is a beautiful one.
I love you.
And I love you.
What?
Oh, no, what is that? Papa! Papa!
Quick, Ian. Hide in these stores the best you can. It is the Germans. About 10 of them. I will try to send them away.
Oh, no!
Don't worry, Anna. This will protect me. This mother and this child will look down on me and bless me. I know.
Oh, you are half Catholic already. Come, when you have dug yourself in, I will arrange the sacking over you.
This is what it must be like to lie in a manger.
Yes, and this is your own little manger in Padua.
I'm coming. Please. Oh, good morning. Buon Natale. Merry Christmas. What is it you want?
Your house, my friend. Out of my way. Come on, men, inside. Name?
Bolito. Pietro Bolito. This is my daughter, Anna. We live alone. We do not harm.
Have you seen this man?
No. No, I haven't. Is he German?
He is a South African. A prisoner. He escaped from us not very far from here.
Oh, I see.
Perhaps your daughter has seen him.
Oh, no, I hardly guard the war. I am frightened.
If you are lying to me, we'll both die. Where do these steps lead?
To the attic. It is too small. Very small.
Bad. Big enough to hide someone. Franz, search the attic.
I have some wine. Not very good, but enough for a small glass each, yes?
Good. We will drink your wine. Go on, Franz. Hurry up.
I heard him approach. He moved some of the straw aside and then thrust the butt of his rifle hard into it, right into my stomach. I felt faint and was certain I couldn't hold out any longer. And then he moved away and poked around in the sacking where the dynamite had been concealed. Finally, he turned and started back down the ladder, and I knew that it was going to be a long, silent Christmas day. The Germans remained at Papa Bolito's for 3 long weeks. Somehow Anna managed late at night to bring me food and hot soup, risking her life for me. You may not believe it, but true stories sometimes do have happy endings. When the war was over, I returned to Padua and married the girl I loved. I still have that faded Father Christmas and the carving of Mary and the baby Jesus. They're worth more to me than the military cross that they pinned on my tunic for blowing up that bridge. In years to come, our children will look at all 3, and I hope they'll remember the story of a love and 2 precious gifts which were given to me by their mother in an attic so like a manger in Padua.
As the lovers Ian and Anna, you heard Michael Mayer and Helen Bourne. Papa was played by Gordon van Rooyen, Roger by David Janes, and Werner by Michael Atkinson. You also heard Henry Goodman and Glenn Day.
When the Snow Lay Round About by James Forsyth, with David Buck as King Wenceslas, Mary Wimbush as Queen Drahomira, Philip Sully as Prince Boleslav, and Rosalind Adams as Samuel. On a summer evening of 1968, 1 hour before midnight, Warsaw-packed troops, moving with the coordination of an imperial army of the empires of the past, crossed the mountainous frontiers of what was once Bohemia. By breakfast of the following day, the whole of Czechoslovakia was under Russian control. In Prague, the ancient capital of the Bohemian kings, the bronze statue of Wenceslas looked down on stunned citizens and rumbling Russian tanks. Wenceslas looked down. Once again, the foreign hordes had come. This time it was the crusaders of the new righteousness, riding their armored steeds against the infidels of the West and the heretics of contemporary Bohemia, Czechoslovakia. 1,040 years before, in the year 928, the imperial army of the Franco-Germanic Empire crossed the mountainous frontiers of little independent Bohemia. Under the command of Henry of Saxony, they also advanced at a slower, but no less ruthless pace, upon Prague. Once there, Henry the German faced King Wenceslas. Down below the royal castle, and in the forest edge beyond the great river which skirts its rocky base, a peasant is gathering firewood of winter windfalls. With him, his young nephew, Samo. At least, that's what Yanni thought.
Samo! Samo! Where could the young devil... Where's here?
Up here!
The branch above your head.
What the devil do you think you are, a squirrel? Now come down out of there.
I'm coming. Oh!
Sammo, back up towards the trunk. Oh, holy leave, monsieur. Jump! Sammo?
Oh! Ouch, that hurt.
It was meant to. You could have broken your leg, your arm. And look at that mud that's on you now.
I couldn't know the branch was rotten, could I?
You could know that this was no day to take idiot chances.
These clothes weren't going with me anyway. Oh, it's torn your green cape. Sorry, Uncle Yanni.
No thanks to you, the branch didn't crack my skull. Now, where's the wood you gathered?
Over there.
Right, add some of this dead stuff you brought down with you and bundle it all up. The light's going.
Oh, look, Uncle. Little stack of loggins all ready, and they're old and dry.
Put that down. If you don't want another clip round the ear, do as you're told. That's King's wood for castle fires, not ours.
They're on your patch of the forest.
I know my patch. I cut them last year. And they're for up there. Look, see, the lamps are being lit up now. Just think, Summer. By tomorrow's sundown, it could be you that's lighting the castle lantern.
We need firewood more than the king.
Wrong, Patch, wrong. The king has 20 hungry fires to feed, if he's to keep his castle half as snug as our hut. I hope his wood fires are helping now to take away some of the chill that's in the heart of his holy Saxon guest.
You mean the Emperor?
Saxon king. No emperor, yet. Henry the Fowler, they call him. And he's got some of the hawk in him.
I saw some of his knights today. They were looking into the forest chapel. Are they Christians too?
Supposed to be. Here, help me get this on me back. I don't trust that imperial hawk, and he don't trust us. Or why has he kept hundreds of armoured knights round the castle and up the river by the ford?
Shall I tell you something, Uncle Yanni?
Probably, so make it short.
I'm really scared about going up there.
Well, as his page, you'll be close to the king, and you don't have to be scared of him. Everybody's scared of a new job. Well, I'd be worried if you wasn't.
You're not scared of anything, are you, Uncle Yanni?
Of course I get scared. We all do.
What scares you, Uncle Yanni?
Oh, I don't know. Lightning and the lone tree. The grip of a fire on a forest that's dry. And, females. And that female Drahomira right now.
Who's she?
Who's Drahomira, boy? Going up to be page to the king, and you don't even know the name of his mother?
But I thought her name was Dromedary. Well, that's what Tata and Igor call her.
That's the nickname the forest folk give her. Because she drinks no water, keeps going forever, and gives us all the hump.
And is it true what Tata says about her?
What's that?
That Dromedary killed off King Wenceslas' grandma because...
One thing remember when you get up there. Give ear to every tale you're told, but don't repeat any. All I know is that she's like a witch with a war horse for a broomstick. You never know when or where she'll swoop on you.
How could such a nice man as Wenceslas have such a witch of a mother? Eh, Uncle Yanni?
How could you have had such a devil of a father, God rest his roasted soul? Because your mother was an angel. So was the father of Wenceslas. An angel with a flaming sword, standing at the gates of Bohemia, protecting the Garden of Eden this country was to become, can still become now, if only Wenceslas can be let alone. We have peace here, the king's peace, the sort of peace that will let a promising young sapling like you grow as great and as strong as that great tree standing there in the clearing. Jesus, a lantern. Who could be coming this way through the forest now? Oh, no. Talk of the devil. I know that voice. Boy, it's her. It's your dromedary. And on foot. Get down. Down behind our bundles. Down.
Who's with her?
The Boleslav, brother of Wenceslas.
Shh. Oh, now, look. My cape is torn. And my best riding boots...
Clothes can be sewn and boots don't bleed.
A complete folly to come this way. And on foot. By carriage.
By carriage we could have been stopped.
We're stopped now. And not by Saxon knights, but by Bohemian mud. We'll be up to our knees in it if we go on.
Not my old knees. Get your breath back, boy. Well, I hitch up my skirts.
Oh, Mother, are we peasants?
Yes, and we'll be royal peasants till the day we die. Hey, look. Castle's aswarm with torches. The Emperor must still be there.
And were I the King of Bohemia, he'd never leave it.
And we'd never survive your folly. There is to be no bloodshed. Not yet. But, Boleslav, get this clear. If your brother treats with the Emperor so that Bohemia is brought within the imperial sway for our so-called protection, then nothing must be allowed to protect him. And his fate you must leave to me.
What do you mean?
Oh, boy. I'm not unaware of the love that continues between you two, nor should you think my love for him dead. But if Wenceslas signs away the independence of Bohemia, then he is a traitor, and as a traitor he has to die. But you, Boleslav, nothing is now so precious to me as the independent survival of this country.
Nothing?
Not even your life, my dear one. Certainly not mine. One thing I do respect in the Christians is that they see human sacrifice as a necessity, and it sometimes is. We go.
Ploughing through mud like peasants.
We began with the plough and the horse, so we will plough on now, and you will be horse. Now, take me up.
Oh, Jesus Christus.
When you swear, boy, swear by something really sacred to you. Now, take me up.
How you enjoy degrading me.
The truly degrading thing would be that one son proved too weak to make a good king, and the other too spineless to make a good horse. Now, stoop.
What a woman. Who's the dromedary now?
What was that?
Shut it, boy. On your knees. On your hands and knees, quick.
Mother, get down.
Someone laughed. That was no animal sound.
There. You.
Run. No, don't run too late.
You. Stand where you are.
Oh, dear God, help us. Samo, leave this to me. Kneel down. Your Majesty.
Who is it?
Who the devil are you?
Yanni, Excellency. King's forester, and my brother's son.
And what are you doing here at this hour?
Gathering wood for our fire. I live by St. Agnes'
You were
Fountain,
hiding.
Sir.
Why?
Stealing the king's wood.
Oh, no, sir. No, only windfall wood. Show their Excellency's son.
Then why were you going to run?
We were afraid that...
That what?
Afraid that having heard what we said...
No, I would never repeat.
So you did overhear what we said, did you? Answer me.
Answer the Queen Mother. Or with this hunting knife, pig?
Please, Your Majesty. We're faithful people. We're forest folk who know how and when to hold our tongues. The boy's trustworthy, too. Ask the king. Why else would he have chosen this boy to be his own page?
Whose page?
King Wenceslas.
Chose this boy for his page?
This wood was for a fire to make the boy's farewell supper. Tomorrow he goes up to the castle to start work.
Well, I think you'd better start work tonight, boy. What's your name?
Samo.
Oh, good name. A great savior of Bohemia, Samo was. Would you like to help save Bohemia, too, from the invaders?
Of course.
The boy will come with us.
Oh, Your Majesty, his clothes and his...
And you, old forester. You go back to your hut. Yes, I remember you. Well, Yanni, if you breathe a word of what you heard me say this night...
I understand, Your Majesty.
Say goodbye, boy.
Uncle.
Oh, Samo, God is good. Remember that tree? We are the roots.
Yes.
And don't forget us down here in the forest.
Go off with you, old root.
Uncle Yanni, tell Teta
Home, old dog, and take your bundle of wood with you.
I'll miss you, Samo.
Uncle.
Come here, boy. You see this Scythian dagger at my hip?
Excellency?
It slit the throat of a red stag today. And it will slit your throat. If you don't prove to my mother and me that what your uncle said was true, that the forest folk know how to hold their tongues...
Oh, we do.
Then prove it right now. Put out your tongue. Out. Right out. Now, hold it. Right.
Oh, was that necessary?
Yes.
You could have severed the boy's tongue.
Only a chuck under the chin. But, boy, taste the blood, do you?
Yes.
Your blood. So, taste it. And never forget when you get up into that castle there to hold your tongue whenever you attempt to say anything about what happened down here. Or else all your blood is going to do what the blood of that stag did today. Stain the earth. Now, on through this mud. Up, Mother, and on.
Get out out, idiot. I'm going to bed.
Mother, I have to know what you told the boy to do.
I only told him to repeat to me what Wenceslas says in private. Have you left them together?
I'm taking him in now.
It was foolish to delay. The Emperor may go tomorrow. There's bound to be more talking tonight.
He was obviously suspicious of our sudden arrival. What did Wenceslas say to you?
Nothing. Nothing. He would never turn away the traveller at his door. Oh, go now. Take the boy in to Wenceslas.
Ah, Boleslav.
Boy, there is your king.
And who is this?
By a strange coincidence, we met your new page at the forest edge. And his uncle, the forester, old Yanni.
Welcome, boy. Yes, I know your Uncle Yanni. When he worked at the castle and I was a boy, it was he who taught me how to split wood, how to think the axe right through to the chopping block. Samo is your name, isn't it?
Yes, Majesty.
Well, Samo, this can only be a very brief welcome. Go, stand by the fire while I see Prince Boleslav out. Brother, you must forgive me if I cannot talk to you till tomorrow when I
know, but brother, as you talk with your imperial guest, please remember that though he speaks for an empire, you speak for a people who will never pay for peace by servitude.
There is, brother, service and servitude. King Henry and I serve the same God, as do my people.
But that's not true. Well, not all your people. Half of Bohemia.
Brother, please, not now.
But if you're proceeding on that assumption...
Boleslav, I am king. You're king, too. You must trust me, not our mother.
Oh, Wenceslas, if I argue passionately, believe me, it's not only to save beloved Bohemia from shame, but to save you from destruction. For, brother, I love both passionately. Oh, that you should know.
I do, and respect the fact. Good night.
Good night.
Well, Samo, come closer to the fire, for either you are frightened or cold, and no servant of mine should tremble for either. But as you can see, we have family squabbles up here, just as you have them down there in the forest, eh?
Yes, sir.
And if anything does frighten you while I'm otherwise busy, then you go to the castellan's wife, the Lady Beatrix. She is the most compassionate creature in the whole castle. Yet, if anything very deeply troubles you, then, busy or not, you are to come to me. You are my page. Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
Samo,
Sir?
you did not always talk with a lisp, did you?
No, sir. I hurt my tongue.
Yes. There's blood at the corner of your mouth. How did you do that?
I bit it, eating my food.
Samo, your face is saying rather a different thing to me than your tongue is. Your family had a reputation for honesty.
Sir?
You cannot be in my service, you know, if you do not tell the truth. This is not the truth, is it?
No.
Then why are you afraid to tell me it?
Because I fell out of a tree and struck my chin and I bit my tongue falling.
I see. All right, boy. Run along now. Go to the Lady Beatrix and let her put some salve on that after you've eaten.
Sire?
And, Samo, your tabard is on inside out. Put it right, or in the kitchen they'll laugh at you, and to be laughed at on a first day in a new place is not very nice, is it?
No, sir. No.
Oh, look out, boy.
I'm sorry.
Goat. But it's all right. What we've dropped is not breakable, at least when it's signed. The Articles of Agreement, Your Majesty. Pick them up, boy.
Pick up the papers, Samo.
Majesty.
Samo is my new page.
Ah.
Cheer up, boy. This is Machi, the Castellan.
Pleased to meet you. Well, almost. You nearly winded me.
Now, off you go to the Lady Beatrix. She will dry your tears.
Come now. Samo's the name of a hero. This isn't very heroic.
Sorry, Lady Beatrix.
Cry so over a little hurt.
Oh, it's not my tongue. It's that I told him a lie, and I've never...
Here comes Prince Boleslav.
What's that? Why is the boy weeping? Why are you crying, boy?
Oh, because he says he told the king a little lie.
Did he? Leave the boy to me, Beatrix. Leave him.
Very well. Don't keep him long from his bed. The boy's tired out.
So we are a liar, are we?
No, Excellency. No, the lie I told the king was about my tongue. I said I'd heard it falling out of a tree.
And how'd I know that isn't a lie to me now?
No, please, it's true.
It had better be. It's a much longer drop from here down to the river rocks than from the limb of any tree. What has the king said to you so far?
Not very much.
Then come and tell not very much to the Queen Mother and me before you sleep.
Boy! Oh, Beatrix, what was the page's,
Samo.
Samo!
Sorry, sire. Sorry.
You must remain within call.
Queen Drahomir.
She's not queen. She is Queen Mother.
Wenceslas has no queen.
Queen Mother Drahomira wanted to speak to me.
So did the king. And he, not Drahomira, is the ruler of Bohemia. You are not her servant. Is that clear?
Yes, Baron Manger.
Not Baron, Castellan.
Oh, Castellan.
Poor lad. With so many new things, his head's a swim like a swilled cup.
Yeah. The wine and the other silver cups, Samo, are in there by the great fire.
And King Henry of Saxony is astir, and you and I have to usher him in. And don't hold the royal cup as if it was a peasant mug. You're on duty. Follow me. Your Majesty, His Highness King Henry.
Come, friend, to the fire. Thank you, Maggi. Leave the boy. I'll send him for you when we need you.
Your Majesty, Your Highness.
Always a very welcome blaze, the morning fire.
Yes, the sun may be up and clear, but the chill of these nights at this time of year lingers till noon. And this morning we had the benefit of a specially skilled firemaker, eh, Samo? It was your kindling, wasn't it?
Majesty.
My new page is a forest boy. Bring the cups here. Steady.
Yes, you'll need a steadier hand than that boy. Practice falconry. Nothing like a falcon on the wrist to create a steady hand.
The visitor first.
Thank you, boy.
Now, sit aside, Samo. That's your stool. Keep an eye on the fire. This cup, shall we say, is to the keeping of peace.
I drink to that. Wenceslas, last night, you said something troubling to me, so that I am still uncertain that you are clear about what we offer. And, of course, the price. Should the boy be here?
Nothing we may now say should be secret from my people.
That, too, worries me. Your degree of trust.
Henry, my brother in Christ, by any agreement to be reached about Bohemia, you were not to be my ruler.
Forgive me. With personal concern for you.
Last night, what troubled you?
Oh, only words to the effect that the tree of state, seen as a great tree, can only be strong if it stands quite free and its roots are respected.
And with that you disagree?
No. It is that in making that statement you seem to imply that we, of the Empire, and that I personally, did not want Bohemia to stand free.
But protected. I was only stressing the point that a plant protected can be overprotected. Come to this window. Boy, come. I want you to see two trees. That one, standing within the protection of the castle walls, my grandmother, Ludmilla, planted. As a sapling, it was taken from the river forest down there. It has sun, it has air, but it has never been buffeted by any great wind, and by the wall its roots are limited. It has never thrived. In fact, next year it will probably be a dead thing. But down there, and over the river by the forest edge, is a great tree that has always been entire delight to me. It stands free of the forest, but is neighbour to the whole empire of trees beyond. It enjoys the freedom of a tree in good native soil, open not only to the sun and the rain, but to the buffet of healthy winds also. It thrives. It will survive.
Even storms?
Even storms.
But not uprooting tempests.
Not tempests, no.
Yeah. And from tempests, we would protect Bohemia. Tempests which will come to you from beyond the giant mountains, beyond your forest lands.
The Magyar hordes.
And the sword of Silesia. And all the barbarian threat now building against Bohemia. Against these you simply cannot stand alone, now can you?
Close the shutters, boy.
Wenceslas, why won't you give me your decision? Why won't you trust me? You who are so trustful of others.
It offends you, I know.
Oh, no. This is a matter above persons and the personal. But I must now begin my journey back, and if I do not go carrying your agreement, well...
Please, dear brother in majesty, sit.
Thank you.
Samo, pass that wooden casket to me. Thank you. Here, in the fire, is warmth. Here we have wine and bread. And here, for the moment, we have that peace within which can be nourished by these. This is all we need for life to be sustained in us, and God to give that life wonder. All the rest is greed and ambitious illusions. My desire is simply that every man, woman, and child within our little Bohemia should have that peace and the provision to enjoy these needs. And if the general achievement of this were to reduce me and my own household to the same peasant simplicity, I'd praise God for it. I've tasted its joy. And the sooner we reach this simplicity, the sooner life lived as praise can be every man's privilege, and peace not be the mere negation of strife, but a positive joy.
Oh, a dream, Wenceslas, a sentimental, though a lovely dream.
Neither sentimental nor a dream.
In this world, a dream, yes. But you cannot live your life as though you were an anonymous monk. And it is the dreamer in you that worries me. To be regal is to face the reality that crowns bring crosses.
I am talking of reality. It was not dreaming to have tended the vines and pressed the grapes which made this wine. I did so. It was not dreaming to scythe the standing wheat, thrash the chaff from the true grain, and see this bread into the oven and out again. I did so. And is it not a reality that you have come here and have honored me with these deep deliberations, and peacefully, not because you fear me, not because I hold immense forces as you do, or the rich resources of empire? You could so easily have overrun all Bohemia. And if you have held off, is it not because that deep in you, as in any man truly alerted to the goodness of God, you do realize, and not just at the altar, symbolically, that the bread, the wine, the warmth is enough, and his peace praised abundantly is the fulfillment of man?
Oh, the world. This wide world, what will it do to you, dear Wenceslas? I came alone, yes, because of you and what you are. And having come, I am more than ever determined to be your protector, and so the protector of your Bohemia. Therefore, do you accept our protection? Do you?
There is still one thing.
I need an answer now.
But this thing is crucial to what we would agree and to the whole success of that agreement. Because for my people to accept, it is the most difficult condition of all.
What condition?
The presence on Bohemian soil of foreign soldiery.
Foreign soldiery? Christian knights and Christian fighting men who would defend to the death all you so dearly believe in.
But who to our peasants are foreigners. It is I who am now being the realist, because I know my proud people. Why need any force be stationed on our soil when on any sign of invasion we can call upon your...
You have not admitted one blatant reality. That you have a house divided. There therefore has to be a force left here. If only sufficient to support you in any castle revolution.
What have you been told?
Oh, Wenceslas, I don't have to be told. I have eyes, I have ears, so have you. You are a house divided. And you know it. Your mother, your brother, the senior baron who would command all the royal levies, Baron Croc, and half the barons too are heathens. They don't act as you do. They cannot tolerate your belief. Do you deny it?
No, I do not.
Ah, your own mother. When Ludmilla stood in her way, bravely teaching you the love of Christ, poisoned.
I know.
The boy. No, you need me. Bohemia needs me. And our protection. But I thought that under the one God we had agreed. Boy, these documents.
Majesty.
Wenceslas, I cannot wait. I will not make this offer again. Now, do you now accept our protection? These are, we agree, the only points at issue. Do you accept them? That, as a token tribute, you render annually 120 head of cattle and 600 marks. That also there shall remain within your immediate royal domain. At your call, though under our command, 40 mounted knights and 100 armed men. That upon these acceptances, Bohemia becomes tributary to the empire, yet ruled by you, and that rule to be under the letters of the law now native to her. Now, this is done in the spirit of the laws of God, as we jointly do reverence them within the revelations of Christ. There. Now, do you, beloved Wenceslas, accept this? And now, do you? Do you?
I do.
Then sign these, and let us drain our cups, and let me clasp you to my heart. Oh, I'm not unmindful of your anguish, and of the personal strain.
Samo.
Sir?
Fetch Castellan Machi. Let my royal seal be brought.
Mother, the boy's been sent to fetch the royal seal, and that can mean only one thing.
Agreement.
This may be him. Ah, good boy. Here he is, Mother.
Bring him close to the window.
The better to see if you are lying, Samo.
Boleslav, leave this to me. Now, Samo, the only reason for my asking you questions is that you may help me to save Bohemia.
Yes, Majesty.
I don't think you're too young to understand that my own sad son, your king, has been misled by lies told to him by foreign priests. Now, their only aim is to lead us all in chains into their so-called Holy Empire. Now, Samo, what did the king, our Wenceslas, say to Henry of Germany?
He said so many things, ma'am. How can I remember them all?
Samo, did you hear either king speak of Bohemia and its protection?
Wenceslas only wants peace. He said so.
But did he say anything to the Saxon king about accepting the empire's protection?
Well, did he?
Oh, boy, it's a simple question.
Wenceslas is a good man, ma'am.
And Henry the Fowler is a bad man. Now, surely you could see that.
Yes, ma'am.
So, Samo, did Wenceslas say yes to Henry's offer of protection?
Yes, ma'am, but he...
So, my God, it's done.
And in agreeing, did Wenceslas talk of any conditions about tribute of goods, cattle?
Or men? Fighting men.
Fighting men? Oh?
What do you mean? Oh.
Well, only a few soldiers, mounted knights, Christian knights.
Christian knights?
What to do?
where his armies go?
Frankish soldiery on our soil. Why?
If you do not fully tell us the truth...
But I couldn't hear it all.
You could hear enough.
He must have given a reason to Wenceslas for leaving any soldiery here.
And some of the words I didn't understand.
You don't have to understand.
We shall understand.
He said the knights were to stop a castle revolution.
Oh, then let his lovely knights stay. For it will take all of the Imperial army now to stop Croc and the barons and me.
Be quiet, fool. The seal must be set.
And there go our protectors. Samo, for being a better servant of Bohemia than my beloved fool of a brother, take this. It's my hunting dagger. Take it, I've others. Take it. Now go.
Samo.
Majesty.
Before supper, come back here. There is something I need you to do for me.
Majesty.
This is a day of shame for me, as a mother and as a Bohemian.
Now at last the issue's clear. Oh, need we be so solemn, Mamma?
Tomorrow is his birthday. The day I gave him birth.
What's this? Samo, this won't do. Hush now. Oh, sure you don't want to shame yourself before the whole kitchen.
No.
Well, straighten up, boy. What's this dagger? God, boy, you haven't done something foolish, have you?
I want to go home. I just want to go home.
Oh, dear me. Listen, Samo, I want to go home too. My home's far away, beyond the western forest, in the hills where the Vltava rises, and I love it. And when I first came here as my dear Matchie's bride, I cried. Yes, I cried every day for a month. Even though I love Matchie, even though Wenceslas was kindness itself. Homesickness is as natural a thing as seasickness is on the sea. Now, where'd you get this dagger?
Prince Boleslav gave it to me.
Why? Samo, what has Boleslav been saying to you?
I want to go home.
Now, just stop it, Samo. You're not a baby. You're royal page to the King of Bohemia. Take my handkerchief.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so you should be. Now, stand up. Straighten your tabard. You're going to walk with me right through the great kitchen, just as though nothing had happened. Then, in Matchie's private chamber, you and I will write a letter home. A nice letter.
I can't write very much.
Then I'll write it for you. Now, follow me and no tearful nonsense. All right?
Castellan! Castellan!
Your Majesty. A moment, Baron Croc.
No.
Sire.
Castellan, this is Prince Vasily Voronov, who will be my knight commander remaining in command of our Bohemian detachment.
Your Bohemian...
I mean the fighting men of the Imperial force whom I now leave with you on Bohemian soil. Prince Voronov, this is the King's Castellan Matchie.
Welcome. Allow the welcome to come from me. This is Baron Croc, who, in any emergency, has all the baronial levies brought under his command.
Your Majesty's servant, sir.
Baron? Before your Majesty's departure, may Baron Croc and I see the Prince's knights and their men on their way to their encampment?
Certainly. The Prince Vasily himself will follow. He and I have to take our farewells. Vasily?
Sir.
Vasily, this Baron Croc, he is Drahomira's man, comes of her tribe, the heathen Lutices. He is not to be trusted. In any emergency, only obey orders from Wenceslas or from me.
From you, but Highness...
As we withdraw through the country, certain sick knights falling by the way will create a chain of mounted men as far as the border. Understand?
Understood. Is King Wenceslas informed of this?
No. This is a secret between myself and you, and the Almighty. For when the blood flows and these baronial vultures tear at the king, we, the falcons, must be ready to fly. 100 hooded and ready mounted will be kept over the border.
Majesty, I understand.
But while here, do everything in your power to create, Christian friendship between your knights and these people. Matchie, the Castellan, is to be trusted. Adieu.
Sire, adieu. And may God protect us. The protectors.
Rex is being very kind to me.
Not unpleasant for me to write down. Thank you, Samuel.
And please, Uncle. Oh,
What's wrong?
my Uncle Yanni can't read.
Isn't there somebody who could...
Oh, Teta. Yes, she can read.
And who's Teta?
My cousin. Can I say something more?
Yes? In any case, you must finish it properly.
Please, Uncle Yanni, give my love to Teta. I so miss her.
Now.
Sorry.
Let's just say I so miss her company and all my friends of the forest, your affectionate nephew. Oh, can you sign your name?
Oh, yes, Teta taught me.
The men now bringing the winter wood in can take you down to the ferryman. Your name here.
Yeah.
And Samo.
Yes, my lady.
All love for you isn't just down there in your old home. If you went from here now, I'd miss you. Now go.
Yes, my lady.
Oh, now steady, boy.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir.
Oh, don't make a habit of butting into me every time I open a door.
Sorry, Castellan Machi.
Oh, Matchy, the child doesn't understand your fun.
Homesickness?
Yes, I think so.
What's this?
Oh, it's a letter home I wrote for the boy.
Don't spoil him. I must try what weeping can do for me.
Idiot. But, Matchy, dearest, I think Boleslav's trying to make use of that boy.
For what purpose?
Spying on the king.
Oh, he's a good boy. Trustworthy, isn't he?
I think so, but he's very frightened. In the letter here, he says to his uncle, but it's Prince Boleslav I'm scared of, and I don't want to have to do anything bad for the king. He's so good to me.
Didn't you question the boy about that?
Oh, the least precious. You could see he burst into tears. But Boleslav's given him a present of a hunting knife.
Devil, to make use of a frightened child. Well, I'll tackle him in the morning. Oh, what a day. But one, I believe, that is going to be the start of another peaceful chapter in our history. Unless...
Yes, Croc. Dear Croc. A strange sunset.
End to a strange day.
An end much more for me.
I don't think you've seen the end of Henry the Fowler. They're all birds of a feather, your imperialists, righteous to a degree and rascals in pursuit of what they see as right. It's going to be hard to see hundreds still roosting here and eating our grain while we pay in beef. All for the privilege of holy protection. But I must not trouble your Majesty's rest.
Oh, that's trouble beyond sleeping now.
Yet a good night to my beloved queen.
Beloved queen? Setting the clock back, old warhorse?
Would that I could. Sleep as you can. The night watch is still Bohemian, and it's watching the watchers.
When Wenceslas was too young to reign and I ruled, were you happier then?
Good God, need you ask?
And if Boleslav ruled?
Well, again, need you ask? Still too hot-headed.
I had to ask. Oh, open the door, Croc. I know who it is.
Come in, boy.
Samo, come here.
Yes, Majesty.
Samo, the king will be wanting his supper. Here's the wine in his silver cup, and here's the wheaten bread, and with it this cheese, which is an old favourite with him. Take them up, and take them in, and don't spill any on the way.
Majesty.
And Samo, this you must say to my dear son, the king, that I have not forgotten his birthday and all the hope born with him upon that day, and that my love for him remains as deep and as true as it is for Bohemia, and that is an end of it.
Boy, you're late. The king's been asking for you. Where have you been?
To your mother, sir, to fetch the king's supper.
And why aren't you wearing the dagger I gave you? Oh, watch out, you'll spill the wine. Wait. You say you fetched this bread and wine from my mother, not from the cook in the kitchens?
Yes.
She prepared it with her own hands?
It was for his birthday. Something special. Something... Oh.
Now sit there. I won't be long.
But...
Don't talk to anyone. You hear?
Sir?
Wenceslas.
Yes. I knew there were bound to be questions from Mother and you before the sky lost all its gold.
And if the question for me were not desperate, I would not interrupt you at your prayers.
Oh, I wasn't praying. I was simply kneeling by the window to see along the river to the ford.
Aye. King Henry's left a rear guard there, which was intended for a vanguard one day.
No. These are men of peace. Peace, Boleslav, is King Henry's aim, as mine.
Wenceslas, you know that whatever our differences may be, however violent our arguments, there is, and will always be in me a real love of you.
Oh, I've never had any difficulty, Boleslav, in believing that you, in your hot heart, loved me.
Then in that love now, let me plead with you to make me a promise. It can be a private promise between us, that as soon as his army is beyond Bohemia, you will tear up this treaty with Henry, which I know he'll never on his side honour.
Are you asking me, the King of Bohemia, to break my solemn pledge to a great Christian king made after painful and full consideration? Where then would be the contract between princes and nations?
Look at me, brother. Look. I know my reputation for hot-headedness, but now, clearly and calmly, seeing more than you see and caring for Bohemia even more deeply than you...
Yes, for Bohemia. An idea, a pride, a principle, but not for its people.
Its people? Its land, its history, us, you. I tell you that if tonight, if now, you will not solemnly promise me that you will revoke this treaty, which takes away our ancient independence, then I will not answer for your life. In fact, I cannot.
Are you threatening me with death?
No. I am pleading with you for your life. Oh, Wenceslas, we know that we both came crying from the one woman's womb, I and me probably screaming. For it is I who have inherited the violence native in her. But now, if you will not be our passionate father's son and fight the invaders, then I cannot save you. Wenceslas, for God's sake...
My life is not in human hands alone. And I do fight. And the passion of our parents is in me. I fight. But the enemy I fight is deep in you, in me, and in all of us. A dragon of destruction who, if not fought off, will inevitably see the destruction of family, castle, land, and all the people, whoever they may be, of Bohemia, Moravia, Gaul, Saxony. Oh, certainly I am no hooded bird of prey tied to an emperor's wrist, nor am I the eagle on the battle banners of our heroic father, but neither am I the passionless dove you take me to be. For the dove of life, as my Christ knew, has all the passion of creation in it. For the rage of creation ran through the Creator in the making of man. I will create peace for this people, because their need is 7 more years of creative peace. 7 years to grow to the grace and strength where we may truly say, in our Bohemia is the new Eden, where men live to tend the garden that was God's and is ours, and where we take joy in the fruits of it.
If you so love, as so obviously you do, the peasant life, why not go and be a peasant? Let me, not Henry the Fowler, protect you. Keep your Christ. Renounce your crown. Live like a monk in the woods you love.
And Bohemia?
Leave her to me. Or else.
Or else.
Or else. Kill me and imprison our mother. Because neither of us will ever allow this subjection to the Empire to happen. This is despair, not hate of you. The coming day's your birthday. Make it a new beginning. Promise me to stand aside, as I know in your heart you would love to do. Be your man of peace, and appoint me, not our mother, to be your successor. Wenceslas.
Brother, no. God bless you for the love in this. But no. And good night.
Boy, why are you sitting here staring at the King's Cup?
Prince Boleslav told me to wait here.
Boleslav?
Castellan Machi. When they say that Drahomira killed Ludmila...
Samo!
Yes, what about Drahomira? Samo!
Machi, the boy's wanted in there with the King's supper. Move, boy.
But Boleslav, the King's page comes under my orders.
And you may come under mine sooner than you think. So, go in, boy.
Oh, Samo. Give me the... Thank you. Oh, it is a cold cup. Take the poker here, push it in where the red embers are. That's it. I will show you how to mull a good cup of wine. Why are you so silent, Samuel? You're not happy here, are you? Don't hold on to the poker saw, it'll burn you. When the other end is red hot, we take it up with this leather glove, and then we plunge it into this cup of wine to mull it. I have spices here in this little casket, see? Boy, have you nothing to say to me?
Majesty, your mother...
What of her?
She said to tell you that she'd not forgotten your birthday and the hopes. She said the hopes born with you.
Yes, I know her hopes, Samuel. Did she say anything more?
That she loves you.
Not something you believe, boy, is it?
No.
Well, that's honest. Yet it is true. My terrible mother terribly loves me. Now, take my cup in your hands again. In goes the spice. Hold it still. Now, see, the poker's red hot. Hold out the cup. Head back for the fizz. Smell the spice. Now, hand me the cup. Samo, I said, give me the cup. What's the matter with you, boy? Samo, in God's name!
Your Majesty. Samo, I want to die.
The boy gulped my wine. When I tried to wrest the cup from him, he threw the contents onto the fire.
I want to die.
Quick, Beatrix, take the boy with you. Make him sick, make him vomit. Quickly. And keep him with you. Let no others know. Beatrix tells me it was your mother prepared the cup tonight.
Oh, dear God, no.
And the food.
Who's there?
Mother?
Forsyth, is that you? Wait. Wenceslas.
Mother? You had not expected to see me again, had you?
I was startled to see you standing there, like the ghost of your father.
The boy drank the wine. Yes, the boy. He will live. A pig ate the food. It is dead.
Why, Mother? Why ask when you know the answer? To save Bohemia.
By murder of your own son? At the risk of damnation to your own soul?
Better far that I, still loving you, should kill you now, than that later the people in panic and hate should tear you to pieces.
That my people will never do.
They are not your people, they are Bohemia's people. Only yours through my folly in ceding the crown to you because of age and the advice of idiots.
They are mine, Mother, only through a love which our crown has begun to mean and must go on meaning.
By selling their freedom, by crippling their native spirit through concessions to the creeping priests of Rome.
No.
Yes, I wished you dead. I wish you dead now if nothing will change your course. So, put me in chains, kill me, for I will not change. And I will not wait to see here in life what so clearly I've seen in my dreadful dreams. I've seen Bohemians in screaming despair swarming in their thousands from our forests out there and on up here to kill their king. Kill me now, for I want to be our king's killer. Wenceslas.
Oh, you will not die. Not at my hands. Nor will Boleslav.
Boleslav did not know.
Oh, he knew. Or he guessed.
Where are you going? Wenceslas! Wenceslas!
Samo, it's all right. You'll be all right now. That was a brave thing to do. The king came in and he kissed your head as you slept. Archie, what is it?
My sword. My sword.
What's wrong?
Look. The king. He's walked out into the night going God knows where. How are you, boy?
I'm all right.
But, Archie, the king...
I'll come back as soon as I know where he's gone. Good boy, Samo. You've saved the king's life.
Has the king gone from the castle, eh?
Archie says so.
He'll come back, won't he?
Oh, of course. Now lie still. Boleslav, how dare you come in here without permission?
I want the boy.
No, he's sick.
I'm not sick now. And if you touch Lady Beatrix on me, I'll plunge this dagger into you.
So my own dagger is to dispatch me like a pig, huh? Spirit, eh? Well, young bohemian, with the way things are moving, we'll need a few spirited bohemians about, but...
Oh, Samo!
Oh! Young devil, quick, bind this up. If he's run off, I'll set the dogs on him.
No, Croc, no. Nor as much he found which way he went.
And the boy?
Oh, Boleslav will start a full hunt for him in the morning. He's lost a lot of blood.
Do Boleslav good. But did Wenceslas give you no idea why or where?
Croc, we know why.
Yes, and so does Machi, Beatrix and the boy, too. Oh, this was ill-planned, Your Majesty. They'll have to be somehow silenced or word will get out. And his knights will get it to Henry in Saxony. Any attack on the king and the excuse for that invasion is there. Too soon, Drahomira, too soon. Ah, Boleslav, no news?
Mother, his monk's garb's gone.
Ah, then once again he'll be walking among his people like an unknown monk in the stupid belief that he can get to know the will of the people. And he's gone because he couldn't bear the truth, I told him.
What matters now is what we will do while he's gone, which is to prepare for war.
Yes. Listen to them. Listen. The Saxon fowlers, sweet Christian knights, encamped by the ford, and singing what? What song, mother, eh?
Our harvest festival song.
The sickle and the sheaf? Yes, it is.
But how would they know it?
Probably schooled in the song before they ever left Saxony.
Ah, sly.
Sickening. So, while my holy brother is out of the way, let's get rid of these sly invaders.
No.
What? Have you weakened too?
No. Let the big battle come, but I need more time to prepare.
Great God, man, you're in Bohemia now. Slit these singing throats tonight. Sound your war horns at dawn, and by noon there will be hundreds of men pouring forth from the forests, the meadows, the mountains.
Aye, men on foot, and mostly armed at best with dagger and spear. But those Saxons singing now are mostly mounted men and armoured. The horses we have bred, but we are still breeding men who are able to ride to the sword and the lance. It needs training, it needs time, which, thank God, Wenceslas has given us.
Yes. Till word gets back to Henry that Bohemia has no king.
All that Henry's Voronov need know is that Wenceslas has gone on a holy pilgrimage to various local shrines within the kingdom.
You, Boleslav, you will hunt down the boy and bring him here.
You will not, old woman. Now order me. I will do what I will do.
Boleslav! Prince Boleslav! If you defy the orders of our queen, I will be obliged to imprison you for treason. Your mother, our queen, voluntarily vacated the throne for your brother. He has gone, deserted the throne and the crown, and the throne reverts to...
God's mother. It is not only the Saxons who are sly, not just Henry the German who seeks a power that I am entitled to. An old devil who seeks it stands behind you now.
No, let him go. All his rage will be vented on the boy, if he finds him.
Uncle Yanni! Uncle Yanni!
Teta. By all that's marvellous, what have you dragged out here?
Surprise, Yanni, eh?
It's your own little donkey cart decorated for the Harvest Festival.
And we're the donkeys to have dragged it right out here through the wood.
I wanted you, Uncle Yanni, to see how well Igor and I had decorated it.
Lord, Teta, I didn't know there were that many wild roses left in the forest.
There are.
She made most of them out of cloth.
A clever girl, isn't she? And I suppose this flower of the flowers of the forest, Igor, will be all petalled up in a fancy dress and sitting on the cart the great day, waiting, shall we say expecting, to be crowned Queen of the Harvest.
Don't be silly, Uncle Yanni.
It might be silly to expect anyone else to win.
Oh, don't be a donkey.
Well, I will be, more or less, for I'm to be the front part of the festival horse pulling this.
Well, stop the horseplay and let's have the food.
There's Samuel's letter. You said you wanted it, didn't you?
All right, read it over to me. All morning my old brain's been sawing and sawing away at the edges of what the boy meant by that bit about Prince Boleslav.
But it's Prince Boleslav I'm afraid of, and I do not want to have to do...
that's it.
Anything bad for the king.
Anything bad for the king. See, it worries you too, doesn't it?
Do you think you should go up to the castle?
Dear God.
What is it?
That's Samuel. Look. He's coming through the trees.
Peter! Uncle Yanni! Uncle Yanni!
Boy, what in the great God's name are you doing down here?
I've run away last night.
You've run away from the castle?
Oh, Samuel.
You young idiot. What do you want to do? Shame your family and bring the king's anger down upon me?
No, you don't understand.
I'll understand all right, and so will you when I get you up there.
No!
What did you say?
You don't understand. I can't go back.
Samuel.
Why not, Samuel?
They'd kill me.
Who?
Drahomira, Boleslav, Baron Krok.
The king wouldn't...
The king's gone.
Gone?
Gone? Dear God, he's not...
Oh, no, he's not dead. But Drahomira tried to...
Hush, boy. Hold your tongue and come with us back to the hut. Come, boy.
Uncle Yanni, where could I go?
All right. Just let's get you out of sight.
I didn't mean to come here and bring trouble to you, Uncle Yanni. But when I swam the river, I was so cold.
All right.
I left my tabard by the river shore so they'd think I drowned.
All right, we'll work on that. Now just be quiet, boy, and do as you've been told.
It is understood by me, Baron Krok, yet it is a long duration of the king to be from the castle, no?
We have a king well enough who does not know discipline, as you and I do as soldiers. Oh, a good king. Too good a man, perhaps, for this world.
As was our saviour?
Yes. But when your Christus told his faithful band that he would be crucified and rise on the third day, he at least kept his appointments.
A strange sense of humour you have in Bohemia.
Ah, but good tunes. You Christians sing well.
Thank you. And in the castle, all is peace.
Why not?
And the castellan, Matinee, he is well, because he has ceased visiting our camp.
No, he went out after the king and hasn't yet come back.
Boleslav, if you drink less, I'd get more sense out of you. Where is Machi now?
The dungeon's still in chains.
Beatrix, too?
Beatrix, too.
And still no sight of the boy?
The boy's drowned. They fished out more of his clothes.
But no body.
Not yet. But I've seen the man of straw at the spring festival swept right down to Rotislavi before it surfaced again. Even I wouldn't have swum the river that night. He had spirit. I could have made a fighting man out of him.
Oh, don't fill that goblet again unless you want to drown in wine.
It's Harvest Festival. It's time for drinking, and it's more than time for fighting. Isn't King Krok ready yet?
King Krok?
Oh, make up your mind, Mother. That old war horse is not after a crock of gold. He wants the crown of Bohemia on his thick skull, and our skulls in his hairy hands.
Oh,
you wait and see. But beyond the harvest, I'm not waiting.
Boleslav, you must.
Why must I?
Because I cannot. God will not let me.
What are you talking about?
Let me put it simply in order to get through your thick skull. I am dying, boy.
Dying?
None of the doctors will give me more than a matter of weeks.
Mother.
Krok must not know, but you must not challenge him.
Not for the crown.
The crown will be yours in time.
In time?
The great conflict is coming soon, which will sweep away Wenceslas and all weakness, but Bohemia must be united in the fight, and the barons will obey Krok, not you.
Am I no longer prince?
Great God! Why was I given sons who will not see that the crown is hollow until men with majesty invest it with brain and brawn? Krok has the experience and cunning in the field to lead the barons to battle, but you must be seen bearing the banner of the eagles.
Ah, the banner boy, Mother. What am I?
Why did God give me two such sons? Oh, Bohemia, Bohemia!
Samo.
Samo, I'm here.
Well, you didn't answer.
Oh, Tedda, why can't I be up in the hayloft where there's space to stand up? And oh, what's that?
It's meal, porridge and cream.
I don't want any. I'm not hungry.
Would you rather die? Would you rather, like Machi, spend the rest of your days in the castle dungeon? They say Lady Beatrix is there too.
Beatrix? Oh, Tedda, when will the king come back?
Only the king knows that. Take a sip of this, please. Just to please me.
You don't suppose that in the dark of that first night they killed Wenceslas and threw him in the river?
Oh, no.
Well, just as we were pretending I was dead, they might be pretending he's alive, so that the Emperor's knights won't kill him.
No, he's been seen.
What?
The man who saw him could have been mistaken, of course. He said this person was unshaven and was dressed like a begging monk, but he swore it was him. And I'm sure the king is alive.
What day is it?
Don't you know?
All the days seem the same to me.
It's Harvest Festival Eve.
Oh, I'm going to miss all that. I'll even miss seeing you all dressed up as Harvest Queen.
Poor Samo.
Please, Tedda, can't you get them to let me be up in Igor's hayloft just for that? I could peep down through the floorboards and see it all.
It will be a risk, Samo, but I'll ask. There's going to be some very special singing, too. The soldier choir of the Knights of the Empire are taking part. They've challenged Uncle Yannis Forrester's choir that they can sing the Sheaf and Sickle song better than we can.
Is Igor playing Harvest King again?
No. Marriage to me in real life is going to be enough for him. He's playing the front end of the comic horse who pulls the festival cart in. Oh, Samo!
What is it?
I've just thought of a place where you could be part of the festival and nobody would know.
What?
You might play the tail end of the horse.
Oh, Tedda, if only I could.
Young man!
Down, rear end. Samo, down. There's a monk with a beard of a goat coming our way. Not so much of a man, Holy Father, as half a horse.
Well, such a splendid festival cart deserves an intelligent horse. So, may I ask you, what is this singing in there in the barn?
Well, Father, you're not just a stranger to these parts, but a stranger to Bohemia if you don't know that song.
Oh, I know the song. It is the singers I would know.
Oh, and you should too. They're Christian fighting men of the unholy Holy Empire. Good God. Oh, I'm sorry, Father.
Why? What is it?
Well, it's the judge for the singing coming this way, Baron Croc.
Croc? Son, may I go into your barn and watch?
Well, certainly, Father. Anyone can go in.
Thank you, my son.
Samo, get back in. Head down. There's Croc. Oh, I was mad to risk this for you. Stand still and pray.
Ah.
Excellency.
The winning cart, is it? Very pretty.
Thank you, Excellency.
You're the farmer's son, aren't you?
Well, in fact, Excellency, I'm only half a festival horse today.
And the hindermost half?
Inside there.
Well, hindquarters, it'll soon be over, so bear up.
When he thwacked you on the rump just now, I
Igor,
thought...
the voice of that monk was the voice of Wenceslas.
Quiet, please. All ready, Excellency?
When you are, Forrester.
Ready, Prince Voronov, sire?
Ready? Yes.
Our honoured guests from Saxony will be allowed to sing first. Give them a welcome, boys.
Seen him, I would have known.
But I know that voice. And you said he was dressed as a monk when that other man saw him. Oh, if only you'd let me look at him, Igor.
Well, he's in there now. When we go in... Shh, listen.
Is it time?
No, we don't go in till the winning choir has been chosen and they sing the victory repeat. No.
What is it?
Over by the old pigsty, where Samo hid. Look, there's that Baron Felix.
Boleslav.
Quick, help me on with the horse's head. Samo, we're going to draw the cart now. Right up to the big barn door where we're going. Don't hurry.
No.
Right. Here we go. Go in step, Samo. Don't hurry.
Quiet, if you please. Well, Baron Croc. An impossible choice. Both choirs a joy to hear. Congratulations, Saxon. So, in consideration of the fact that harmony is the aim, I declare this song contest to be a draw. And quiet. In consideration of the fact that festivals are for fun, let us have both choirs sing together to bring in your young harvest queen.
Tell Igor to stand ready, and here we go. Open the doors, Jan. Both doors, boy.
Silence, Prince Boleslav.
Boleslav? By Henry.
It's Boleslav. He's come in.
Samos, stay still. My profuse apologies to all at this time of harvest festival.
In God's name, what is the meaning of this?
Oh, King Croc. King Cock the Cautious. The meaning of this crock is that festival wine has loosened the tongues of a few faithful peasants. And by the wagging of tongues, we are once again hot on the scent of a certain young buck, past page to the missing monarch. So,
Prince Voronov, you and your men may care to go.
Yes, Baron, I think so.
Oh, I think so, too. I've always said that our Christian competitors should go, and well beyond our borders.
Fool!
Thank you, Baron Croc. Come, people, foresters.
Baron Felix, let the holy horseman go, but watch the peasant.
Boleslav, this is drunken folly. To make the hunting down of a mere boy damage what I was doing now in lulling the enemy before me.
Lulling? There's been enough lull and lullaby, old war. Out of my way.
Prince Boleslav.
Yes, please.
Not in the loft. It's empty.
I'm not in here, Excellency. Barn's cleared.
Oh, well, let them all go along with the Saxon songsters. Wait. No. The horse, the comic horse. There are two ends to that, and both human, eh? Both peasant flesh. Dig out the demi-horseman.
Samo!
Run, Samo! The
Oh, Nanny! Wenceslas! No!
Got the boy! Ah! The saints will rage! The wine sweet!
Boleslav! Brother!
Wenceslas!
Samo! Come here, boy.
She's the king. She's a traitor, Wenceslas.
No! Prince Voronov, your knights, the doors. Not the doors.
Saxons?
Leave this devil to us. Igor, Jan, Forsyth.
Fools, take your filthy hands off me.
Your Majesty, Baron Croc's got away.
Prince Voronov, your mounted scouts, pursue and hold the Baron Croc, but no injury. We have yet to know what his guilt is.
By heaven, brother, we know yours.
Rope his wrists. And your Majesty, sit here.
On the harvest throne.
I mock king of the harvest. You may have sown the seed, but the harvest is going to be reaped by the imperial sickle. And the sheaves will yield the bitterest meat this nation ever made.
No, brother. No bitterness, but peace in plenty. And may God keep me fit to be a king worthy to sit in this harvest throne among this people, among a people whose will I now know is for a peace intolerable to you and a faith with a future.
Bring him closer.
You'll never get me now to kneel before him.
No, Boleslav, I do not ask you to kneel to me. I only ask you to face me, and in facing me to face these facts, that this people wants peace, needs peace to grow, and that peace is possible through Christ, through me, and without shame.
Is it without shame that you use the powers of the Empire now to protect your throne and punish me, your own flesh and blood?
I have not yet punished you. And the power holding you now is no foreign force, but the native muscle of foresters entirely faithful to Bohemia. It is you that are now foreign to them and their way of life. That is the shame. Unbind him.
Majesty.
Boleslav, you are free to go from here to your own lands, but not to come back this side of my forests till God has changed you. For think, brother, what you would have done. brutally and treacherously shed Christian blood and justified the Holy Empire in marching in to make this country run with the blood of a whole generation of men. You cannot kill evil with the sword. Those who live by it, in living so, die, and the dead bury the dead. Take you and your evil hopes away, and for Christ's sake, my brother, kill them in you, so that once again we may love one another. Our mother will be joining you in this banishment. Go now, freely.
I remember this as the day when disgust of weakness made me want to spit upon our king. You are the Judas of Bohemia. Out of my way!
Oh, Majesty.
Was it wise to let him go?
No, I don't think so. It was not wise. But when worldly wisdom would surely have been to kill one's own brother, who then is in the generation of Cain? He was drunk. He was hurt. He is proud. He will be brought to the truth.
Wenceslas.
Beatrix.
Wenceslas, Drahomira, your mother, is dead.
Dead. Dear God.
But fear died with her too, for the jailers released Machi and me, though he is crippled.
Samuel.
Majesty?
You and I have much work to do up in the castle.
St. Stephen's feast and a crackling bright fire. The king will be pleased. Your Uncle Yanni will be almost snowed up down there now. Have you seen the depth of it?
Yes. It was still falling when the king and me were giving out the gifts to the poor people.
It stopped falling now. Oh, Samo, the doctor's given me the best Christmas present I ever had. He says we can burn Match's crutches. Oh, I want to watch them burning away all these nightmare nights and days.
But would the king not
complain? They're good ashwood. And you know the old rhyme, ashwood green or ashwood brown is fit for a king with a golden crown.
Well, Samo, are you enjoying your first Christmas in the castle?
Yes. Well, of course, Your Majesty.
You don't sound very convincing.
My candle blew out at the first blow. My Christmas Eve candle in the great kitchen, when in the great tub we all floated our little candles. You know, in the walnut shells.
Oh, that's just fun. Shed no tears about that, Samo.
But don't they say that if your candle blows out at the first blow, it means bad luck for you?
Superstition, Samo, which feeds on fear. Anyway, on Christmas Eve, when we all sliced our apples in half, and according to custom, we all looked to see if the cut through the core gave us a star, meaning sorrow, mine seemed to me quite clearly to be a cross. Yet Beatrix, looking at it, saw that it was a star. The same apple, two persons, two images. Often what we want to see is all that we do see. I see little crosses wherever I go. Crossed sticks on the ground, crossed straws today, frozen into the ice. A bird on a branch stretching its wings is to me a black cross against the sky. But we must not wish ourselves into sorrow. How will your own people be celebrating St. Stephen's feast? Oh, but of course, on St. Stephen's Eve there is to be this special choral mass in the forest chapel.
It would disappoint Uncle Yanni if the knights don't go.
It would disappoint me. For with every such occasion, the enemy grows less and less our enemy.
Lord, Keta, it's chill out there. But clear. Those wolves have come uncommon close, and the moon's up. Igor and you shouldn't have come. I'm going to see that he sees you safe home.
Igor said he heard shouting and horsemen earlier on.
They would have come early to practice.
But the shouting sounded too warlike.
They're a proud lot with their Saxon war cry always on their lips. Lay out my festival costume while I call Igor in and talk him out of going. Anyway, he seems like a sick wolf. Is that...
Prince Boleslav.
Yes, we have your husband outside. As a trussed pig, he's grunting well. But I wouldn't count on him now to sing bass at your St. Stephen's Mass.
Igor.
Is this your costume for the holy performance, old Forrester?
Yes, Excellency.
Now get out of your peasant rags and get into it. Strip, I said. Oh, Felix, take this girl and truss her up like a swineherd sway.
Please, Excellency, she's expecting.
And then don't truss her so tight she'll litter on you.
All's gone according to plan. We're ahead of time, so if only you're sure of the king.
I know my brother. God bless the goddess moon for being so alluring.
What was that?
A wolf, I think, sir.
Ah, yes. The full moon is bound to bring them out on the prowl. Go here to the window, Samuel.
Coming, sir.
How crystal clear the air is.
You can almost see to the mountains.
Yes. What was that?
A wolf howling again.
No, I don't mean the sound. See, moving along the forest edge on the far side of where the river would be. Is it an animal?
Majesty, it's a man, struggling through the... Oh, he's fallen down. No, he's up again.
What could he be doing out there at this time?
But he's fallen again. He's in a drift, struggling. Is something wrong with him?
Then come. We must help him. Oh. Close the shutter.
You mean go out and down there now?
This is St. Stephen's feast, when my ritual is service to the poor. He is one of the poor, and he is in need. My cloak. Samuel.
Here. I'm here, sir.
At least this snow is dry. Dry as flour.
But it's lying deeper the more we go down.
Step in my footsteps. And thank heaven for such a brilliant moon.
Oh.
What is it? Can you still see the man?
No, it's the old green woolen cape, Majesty. It must be my uncle, Uncle Yanni. He's fallen again, quick.
No. Slow, boy, slow. Or you'll bring an avalanche down on our backs. Shout to your uncle that we are coming on.
Uncle Yanni! Uncle Yanni! He's got up. He's stumbling away and on into the woods. Uncle Yanni!
Surely he heard you. Try again.
Uncle Yanni! Uncle Yanni! He's going farther in.
Well, it can't be your uncle. It's a stranger who perhaps thought us to be robbers.
No, Majesty. This could be a trap. The way that man dragged the cape, dragging his leg after him, do you know what it reminded me of? Lapwings that I have seen when they try to lure Teta and me away from their nests.
A trap?
Well, why else does he keep going away? Oh, let's go back, Your Majesty.
Samuel, you are beginning to talk out of fear. Samuel! Where are you going?
To my uncle's hut. I won't be a moment. Stay in the shadows of the trees and out of the moonlight.
But Samuel! Oh, dear God. Dear God, why must all our missions of mercy be like this struggle through a forest, where every tree whispers some chill suspicion?
I couldn't find anybody. Nobody was in the hut, and the fire was burned down, and I was afraid to leave you long. But something is wrong.
But surely they would have gone to the chapel anyway. Listen. I can just hear singing now. The Mass has begun. Having come thus far, let us go in and join them. Samuel, don't keep stopping and starting, or we shall be too late to add our voices to theirs. An animal cry?
I don't know, but look!
Samuel! Majesty!
It's him, it's my uncle, Uncle Yanni!
Samuel! Oh, Samuel, we heard you calling us by the hut, but, Majesty, we were all tied up. You must get back to the castle right away.
What has happened?
In our chapel, it's Boleslav. He's there now.
But whose voices are those?
I tell you, Boleslav, Baron Grigor, Felix, and all their men. My forest choir are only just now gathering at my hut.
And here's wolves, too. We must go back now, Majesty.
If these knights of the Empire are murdered...
They are, Majesty. Look, over there, the wolves smelt the blood in the snow. The black horse dead. That's theirs.
God, forgive him. Well, now nothing can stop the fighting we have all dreaded most. Nothing. Unless... Yanni, take the boy with you.
No, they'll kill you.
Samo, it is a trap. And it is sex for me, not you. Do as I say. Give me the lamp. Go with your uncle, retrace our footsteps in the snow. Warn Machi, but do nothing to alarm the Saxon camp.
No!
Dear God, Samuel! Did I not command you to go back?
You know that if you go across there and you go into the chapel, he'll murder you.
No. That's neither you nor I know, boy. Nor does Boleslav. God's is the universe. Only I, if anyone can save my brother now from the destruction of Bohemia. For there is no way I can move and live now, except through my brother.
But what good can it do?
Good. There are times in our lives when suddenly every living moment of that time can be what our life is all about. At such times, Samuel, we see that motive, cause, consequence have no meaning at all. That God's will is eternal, and eternity we may only measure in moments. If I die, what will live on may infinitely be more important than my life. Oh, I shall try to live, but the purpose of life is for me that the spirit survives. Go back, for you must not, dear boy, saddle me with your life. Samuel, until you go, you deny me mine, for this is my way to live.
Oh, Majesty.
Boleslav,
Wenceslas,
brother, beloved brother,
Beloved Bohemia.
Go. Oh, Christ Jesus.
Leave him. Let him lie. To the castle.
Bohemia! To the castle!
And so the imperial invaders came flooding back, and with them came years of devastating war, which ended in an impoverished country and a king, Boleslav, who in defeat had to agree to the same terms of tribute offered to Wenceslas in the beginning. And whether in conviction or for convenience, Boleslav embraced his brother's faith, and that faith became native to Bohemia.
In When the Snow Lay Round About, King Wenceslas was played by David Buck, Queen Drahomira, Mary Wimbush, Prince Boleslav, Philip Sully, and Samo, Rosalind Adams. Yanni, Fred Bryant, Beatrix, Diana Olsen, Baron Krock, John Westbrook, Henry of Saxony, Stephen Thorne, Prince Voronov, Roy Spencer, Teta Christine Absalom and Igor, Anthony Daniels. The music was specially composed by David Kane, and the play was directed by David Spencer.